Just don't let her know. 'Cause I wasn't even supposed to be looking. I wasn't supposed to look at the machine. I'm not permitted to touch it. We're going to go to Apple class next week for her, but I'm going to sit in because I got to know. You know, it's going to be interesting. Say,
Makes you learn
just
something.
checking it. Hey, Doug.
Howdy. Trace, you want to co-host me?
I'm trying to find people to do that. Every time I do it, the screen jumps all over the place.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Maybe we just need to talk or something like that.
Trey, it's Sue Jilek. If you want to do me too, that'd be great.
Oh, Sue, I don't want to hear how warm it is down there.
Well, you know, when it gets down below 60, my lips chap like crazy. I can't imagine even living in the Buffalo area. My body would chap. So, yeah, I lived there. That's where I grew up. And yeah, but down here today, at noon, it was 57. And
Oh, it was warm in Minnesota. We got up to 42.
See, you're almost there. But at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, what were you last night, Charlie?
We were about 27 above last night. It
Okay.
didn't get it. Night before it got down to almost 0.
Yeah, I had 12 last night, or this morning even.
So anyways,
Good
you guys,
times.
I got to show you something. I have been wanting to make my own logo and stuff. And I don't know if you can see it because I'm not highlighted, but tell me if you can see it.
Yeah.
We can see it.
Beautiful.
What do you think of it, guys? I use Canva to do that.
Good deal.
That's pretty.
So
Very pretty.
so I ordered 50 just to see what they're going to look like. I have amended it so it's going to have my email address on it, but
Oh, now I got your home address.
I got her phone number.
And we'll post it on YouTube.
Yeah.
there you go. I think somebody already has. But I wanted to show you the logo is going to be my signature like that with a arc. It's all going to be lines so that people won't hit. So it'll be easy to stamp in. But yeah, I was pretty pleased with it. I worked on it for 2 days until 4 and 5 in the morning. You know, once you get into that, you keep on going. So yeah.
Where'd you get it from, Sue?
What?
The cards.
Well, Canva's got their own system. You can order them locally, but for 15 cards, for 50 cards, it was $15, and I got them in 2 days. It was better than trying to use my printer because that would be a lot of ink with the green background. So figured $15 was cheaper than getting my my ink all used up. But so Canva does it, but they also do posters and all kinds of stuff. I just downloaded it because you know that one program that you were guys telling me about that works with Apple. They don't work with Ventura, so I had to find a program that would work with, and Canva does. So I was happy with it, but I'll look to see if they have stickers and how much it would cost to do stickers, if you'd like me to.
Please do so.
I don't want to step on anybody's toes, so.
No, we're still working on that.
Okay. Okay.
I got a little sidetracked this week.
Chap lips because I went below 60.
Yeah, it was 61 in New Orleans. I mean, I got my parka on and everything.
When you're used to 80s and 90s, you know, these 58 and 60 degree days are awful.
Yeah, I just heard a report. I was reading the weather or looking at the weather a few moments ago, and the young kid says, "Man, this is not good news." When he starts the weather report by saying this is not good news, you worry about it.
Right.
He said, we're going to have a whole lot of rain and wind for St. Patrick's Day. I hope y'all can handle it. And I'm thinking, yeah, they're going to be too drunk. They won't even care. You know?
You're right.
Yeah. I know they had St.
I
Pardon
can't
me?
think of having green beer though. Yuck.
Oh, when I was a beer drinker, there was no color differences.
It all tastes the same.
Yeah,
That's
it
right.
tastes the same, but it comes out the same color as you drank it, guys.
The second
Is
one's
that
always
true,
better.
Randall?
Was that Jim?
The second one's always better.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
third and fourth are fantastic.
I really do miss beer. Because of health problems, I stopped the consumption of it about 10, 12 years ago. But boy, I love the taste of it. Oh, man. But I wouldn't go out and get goofy like these folks are for, pardon me, goofy like these folks are for St. Patrick's Day. My wife and I went to the mall to pick up that computer on Sunday, and we passed one of the main thoroughfares from Metairie over across the lake is called Causeway. And we were a half a mile or more away from where the parade crossed under that roadway. And there was double parking on both sides of the road all the way out. And it was a beautiful day. I don't blame them. I mean, who would want to hang home when you got that? You can go out and get veggies for dinner. You know, it was really, it was amazing how many people were out. But hey, the rest of them were all in the mall. So didn't really pay off well. And I have a problem with being in retail. It's a brain thing. Have a problem being in retail operations and being in a mall. There's a major impact on me. So she says, we're going to go back for class next week. I'm thinking about earplugs and blindfold and let her just get me in there. It might be good. But hey, I got a report today from my medical staff that there's nothing physically wrong with the brain. Tumor didn't come back, none of that stuff happened. It is a connection problem I'm having. And I'm seeing somebody about communication difficulties because I'm letting anxiety direct my moods and all. So, hey, if I seem to be wacky, I am. But it's not something to be worried about. I'm not. I'm feeling pretty damn good about it. That's why I feel so relieved this afternoon. I almost forgot about the meeting. I'm sitting here making notes and all that and looked up the calendar and said, oh, that's today. Boys, it feels kind of good to be back in the hoop. I can't get back in the shop because of some things, but hey, I got notes like crazy. I mean, really having a lot of fun coming up with things. And you should too. You know, as cold as it was in some areas, maybe that's the time to just sit down with a pad and pencil and work out your next project. I'm a king of graph paper. I really am. I believe that you give me a piece of graph paper and tell me to design something. What I design or what I come up with is going to be more proportional and more in reality and give me a better look. I'll 3D them or space them out or shadow them out so you can get a better look at it, better grasp on it. And it really helps when you do that. Yeah, I went to Cindy Droz the demonstration at SWAT years ago, and she was doing one on finials. And now she lets some of her proteges handle that for her. But right off the bat, she said, right now, I'm going to show you how to make a finial. And she went over to a graph paper and she oversized and drew it all out. And she says, you like that shape? And okay. And she says, it sucks. Take a hard look at it. This is too big. This is too small. This doesn't blend to this. And she said, that's why I did it on graph paper, because this on the lathe doesn't see that. It doesn't understand all those changes and nuances. It doesn't. It sees what you're turning, and your mind wants to continue the project. So your mind drives you into getting finished. And very often, well, you get finished, but very often you're not real happy with the results of it. And that's see, you can work on that. Graph paper, if you mess up, you can throw it away. You just ruin a piece of African blackwood. What do you do now? You know, and don't say you can go back and retouch the tip. Most of us know that you ain't going there. You know, you'll be sandpapering that thing to shape if you can. So I really advocate, and I tell students when I was teaching here in the shop, first thing you do is draw it, and you draw it to a scale that you can work with. And then you look at all the nuances, and then you look at how you can accent it. See, this is where Bob Moffat, Birdhouse Bob, would come into. He'd walk away with this, because Birdhouse Bob would draw in his texturing, put his burned in lines, his pyro, he'd draw all that in right there on a piece of graph paper. And then you'll say, ooh, that's way too damn busy. I don't want to do all that. I just leave the burn lines, and I'll reduce the size of the pyro, and maybe a little texturing around the heel and on the bottom. You know, yeah, you see, then you get the brain working instead of the tools working, and you get a little closer to what you want for a finished project. You know, one that you'll be happy with. And oh yeah, by the way, don't ever show it to your spouse. That's no, you know, show the finished piece, but you know, mine would be saying, why not? You want to do that? And I definitely know I don't check colors with her. She's a quilter. She knows which ones are blended, which ones not to blend. I just think they all should go there. So, but when you get out and get planning this week, think about that a little bit. Weather's got you held up in the house. You can't get in the shop. You're working. You don't feel good. You're incapacitated for one reason or another. You're on the road for business. Graph paper doesn't take up a whole lot of room in your briefcase. Put it in there and decide what you want, especially if you're looking at YouTube videos or Facebook things and you see something you like. I am not against copying somebody else's ideas. Now we all have the same ideas. As who can produce them and who can't. So I'm not anti that. I've had professional turners say they were very insulted when somebody duplicated their work. Well, they didn't duplicate your work. They used your work as a guide to create more work. And number one, God didn't give the wood, exact same wood to both of y'all. Number two, there's certain little intricacies of the situation that you won't know of. You won't see and understand that maybe he does and you don't, or you don't and he does, or whatever. But then if you're looking at those pictures, you get some working. You get some ideas of where you can go and what you can do. I know you got a block of wood there. I mean, I see where Doug Rowe had a block of wood chucked up on his lathe and he was spinning it. Probably a dozen of us gave him ideas on how to improve what he was doing. Guess what? You can give yourself ideas for that. Right? You see it happening. I mean, I'm trying to find a thing right now on my computer that I can use to talk to Sue. And I'm going to go in there. I'm going to look for it right now and see if I can pop it up, because it's going to lend to a safety thing. And if I can export it to video. Okay, now I'm going to put it in my videos and I'll be able to get there. But this is something. All right.
Gary in Oklahoma City, can you make me a co-host so I can back up record, please?
Who's that?
Gary in Oklahoma City. Sorry, Cap.
No problem. But we see things on YouTube and all, or Facebook, and we get these great ideas. I mean, hey, if you're not visiting our Facebook page, you're missing out, because our members are posting some awesome stuff there. And also our master webmaster post excerpts from our meetings, ideas, tips, tricks. Safety Sue is on our Facebook page, because that's what we're here for, to share information. But look, I want to pop something up right now. This is something that was sent to me the other day, and the lady said, this is what happens when your tool slips and your tool rests too far away from your work, and your finger goes into being between that spinning thing and that non-spinning thing. All right, everybody that has felt that, or squinch, or you're crunching right now, because you know that hurt. That damn well hurt. And and you can prevent it, but there was ideas to Doug. Oh, maybe you need to try this clamp, this bolt, this pin, this. How would you prevent it? I mean, a lot of us been holding on to that gouge, doing this, and something slipped and whoop. I mean, you smash your thumb, you know what it feels like. Or you
don't do it.
You don't do it. No, and don't check it. Don't check it. It hurts.
When you do it the second time, it really hurts.
Yes.
Oh, God.
This hurts and that hurts.
You got it.
Yeah.
Regarding graph paper, I know a lot of people who use graph paper, especially people like Rebecca DeGroot, who figure everything out ahead of time on graph paper. When I started using it, I got better, I think. So I'm in agreement with that.
It helps, and to put proportions to things, or to remember, it's not what you see when you're turning it, it's what you see when you're finished with it, because then you stand up and say, oh God, look at that. A guy I used to be in a club with turned a vessel one time, brought it to a club meeting, and he held it up and he said, what do you think about that? And I said, it looks nice. And he held it up, he said, the bottom's got the hole in it. I turned the vase. And he said, but this on a lathe, it looked pretty damn good. When I got it done, it looked pretty damn stupid. And I said, yeah, you're right. And he said, okay, what do I do? And I said, I'd put a base on it, quarter tops out, don't lose a piece of wood. And he did, and it came out looking pretty good. The next month we saw it. But it just said, in my mind, while it was spinning, I wasn't doing the 3D on it. I wasn't seeing everything that would happen, the end result. It was good and proportional, and I got it hollow and thin, but something in here screwed up. And we all stood in front of the lathe and had that happen, right? So, all right. Hey, I said something about photographs on our Facebook page. I'll still receive photographs if you send them to the worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com address. I'll still receive them. But we also get photographs not sent that way through Facebook. So on our Facebook page, you can put your photograph of your work. But here, and I hate when people tell me this when they're making a deal. Here's the deal. If you do that, I don't want just one picture of one piece. Really, I'm greedy. I want multiple pictures of that piece. And I want to know what you have it finished with. What kind of wood is it? How big is it? I mean, give me the details you'd give me if you were showing it off, or not showing it off, but exhibiting it in the gallery. Share that with us, because I will add that to our newsletter, which essentially becomes a gallery. So if you've got something like that, take the photos, send them to me. Don't worry about cropping them. I got a Mac, I can crop that. And I can put black dots over parts you don't like. Just ask. But just put them in there so we can share them. I've expanded one more page on the newsletter, and I want to say it now before somebody comes back with, well, that's not in accordance with our founding standards. We don't have sponsors. We don't do promotions. We don't have income from somebody for saying her name, right, Bob? Okay. That doesn't happen. We do this because we love it. In the newsletter, I'm going to start adding some notes from the meetings that people may have missed or just didn't copy down. One is things coming up. I mean, SWAT's coming up in the end of August. AEW is in the early June. And then as another event, I want to know about yours. And then some pieces. Somebody talked a while back about these wedding bands that are flexible, that if you get them caught, they'll slip off. I was at lunch with my wife's nephew or something like that. I get confused. But I looked at, he had a gold tattoo on his finger. And I said, what's that? And he says, oh, that's where I got rebuilt. I said, rebuilt? And he says, yep. I was fixing the tire and snap. He said, that thing hit my finger so hard, it went bone on both sides. He said, we got it cut off and I got to the hospital and I got it rebuilt and had that scar. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a ring over it. And he went and had a tattoo done because he had to have his ring. So, yeah, there are things I put that link in the newsletter so you can go there and find if you're interested in that. Because I get fussed at if I don't wear mine. It's been 34 years tomorrow, and she still fusses at me if I don't wear my wedding ring. Like, yeah, right. I'm gonna go looking for another woman in my life. So
Danger, Will Robinson.
yeah,
Yeah, really.
really. I got 2 daughters, 4 granddaughters, 1 grandson, 1 great grandson. Guess where I get the most hell from? Okay. All right. I see we have most of our staff in tonight. Our veterans, our co-host, they're just people that want to help. They don't get a special pay. They don't get paid.
Am I missing any of the co-hosts?
I don't know right now. I had a little
Well,
glitch.
they need to speak up because I had trouble making sure I got everybody. So
And look, when we up to what? How many 65, 70
Band-Aids,
people
Brenda.
right now? Band-Aid Brenda.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. She's under
Okay.
no.
Oh,
she's under no. That's the
Happy
reason why I
birthday,
can't find
Brenda.
her.
Yeah. No Band-Aid.
Brenda, happy birthday.
Thank
No,
you.
no
Band-Aid.
Band-Aids. You see?
Wait, is it Brenda's birthday?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy birthday, girl.
Thank
You'd
you.
know that. You'd know that if you're a
birthday, Brenda.
Facebook member with us. You'd know that.
Yeah.
25.
Yeah, 25 again.
25. I
Again
thought
and again
29.
and again.
Yeah.
Be
Did you
nice.
see that
Captain.
sign?
Be
See that big old
careful.
sign? Did you see that big old sign on Facebook this morning where my girlfriend had a sign put out front of my house?
No.
No.
Oh, yeah. Big old happy birthday, BFF. Happy 60th. And yeah, big old long thing.
Standing.
Good for you. Happy 60th.
Yeah.
Hey, Captain, I didn't
Yes,
get
sir.
a Band-Aid. I didn't get a Band-Aid today, but I did this today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's artistic. Bring it up again. Bring it up. I can't get back to you. What's the
Here.
deal?
You see
All right,
that?
now I got the spotlight on you.
Like
What
you got
is
shot.
that?
Wow.
That's my face shield. I'm on my tablet, Eddie,
Okay.
Which one?
Galaxy.
right there.
So what's
So how'd you do that?
face shield?
I was practicing for a demo today. For our demo,
Yeah.
and the piece of acrylic that I was turning exploded.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Put a hole in the shield.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
So I'll be wearing my backup shield tonight.
That
That's
looks
better
like a
than having a hole
Uvex.
in your head.
Hey, this shield is cheaper than the doctor's bill.
Yeah, it's $9 to replace the shield.
Dang.
But
You had
hey,
some pretty bad luck lately.
And replacing
Yeah.
the hose is what?
Yeah, the gas money to the hospital would be offset that.
Or at least I know it works.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I know it worked. I've had my bell rung once where I was really, really, really glad I had it on. I mean, you know, I say that because a big piece hit me. But what if a small piece hit me? It has in the past, but without the shield and maybe sneak under the glasses or go in your mouth or whatever. Think, you know, see the damage it did to that? I'm not going to jump on Safety Sue's bandwagon here. See the damage that did? And really, and I've had turners at club meetings that I've watched, and the club had a policy about wearing masks, and the guy says, I can't demonstrate with this thing on. So, okay, thanks. We'll get somebody else.
Yeah,
They
right.
look at you like you're crazy. No, I'm not crazy. If I have a novice turner sitting right next to me that sees you doing something that goofy, that stupid, and still get your work done, why would he put that thing on? I mean, he's watching a guy that's a demonstrated quality guy turning something without the mask, and he did okay. Now, right now, ask Scott, did he do okay? You know, or would he have done okay if he didn't have that mask on? I don't think so.
I think it would have broke my eye socket if it had hit me.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'd
that's
have
what
a
you have
square
to think
dent.
about. Yeah, you know, it's a what if. What if that happens? What if you stopped it from happening? Let's flip it around. You know, I'm not going to get on the bandwagon here, but you know, we do these demos. If we see something that's not right, we all have the right to say something. Every single one of us can make a comment at any point during that demonstration if we see something unsafe or unhealthy happening. Any one of us or every one of us can. That's the rule here. There's no hierarchy. There's no, I want to mess with him. He's a demonstrator. Feel free. If he does an unsafe, unhealthy, or is doing something absolutely stupid, you have the right to say something. And that, you know, sometimes turners will think, well, I've been doing this forever. It's okay. They've been robbing banks since Julius Caesar walked the earth, and it's still not okay. So consider that, please. We have a couple of folks in for gallery tonight. There was a birthday girl just now.
Ready to go to gallery?
Ready to go to, but first, there's our birthday girl.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys.
Happy birthday.
Birthday.
Happy
Want to see my goals I made this week?
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, look, she's going to jump ahead in gallery too.
Yeah.
Look.
This,
I like it.
Advantage, why you got it?
yeah, I'm here. Might as well
Look
check
at
it out.
look at that curve.
You're
That was
coming a
very
long
nice.
ways, girl.
Oh, it looks nice. Looks nice.
Now check this one out.
Ooh.
Wow.
There are no
Wow.
flat spots on
Claim
the
of
outside of that.
Yeah, I did
Look at that.
did some dye on the outside.
I want to see the inside.
No,
Look at
What's
that.
the wood?
No lines. No
not
lines.
sure.
No wrinkles.
it's the same piece of wood.
What kind of
It's
wood?
oak. It's either
Elm
oak
or
or
oak.
elm.
Looks like elm.
Yeah, I would guess elm. I would have guessed elm a little while ago. Yeah.
Okay.
I
don't
like
know,
the
like you
grain.
gave
of
me
it.
oak and elm, and I wasn't sure which one this one was. So, okay. Let's
Go with Elm.
look at that.
Thanks. And look,
Elm's got like a cow pasture smell to it when you're turning it.
I didn't smell anything because.
Yeah, it's probably not elm.
Anyway,
Well, the sniffer don't work good. Well, very good, Brenda.
beautiful,
Yeah.
Kendra.
You look wonderful, Brenda.
thank you.
Who's up, Dane?
All right. Well, let's go to Doug. Hey, Doug.
All right,
Doug Miller.
let's get it out of the way. A month or so ago, I shared with you the baton that I did for my son, who is a math education major. He loves it. We've actually worked on it some more when he was home, and he loves it even more now. Just some minor adjustments to it. But I had a friend of mine the day that I posted on Facebook said, I want one for my husband. We're going to have our anniversary. So here's the one I made for them.
Nice.
I wish I
I
could
love
tell you what that wood is. It's another hardwood. It's not an Australian burl.
If you didn't know, that's very poisonous and you should not make contact with it. And I'll give you an address to send it to for disposal.
I've already got an address to send it to.
Good one, Eddie. Good one.
I'm going to collect some greenbacks to go with it. But it's, same idea. It's 2 pieces. In case something happens, the baton actually is not glued into the handle, so it can be changed out without any problem. Looks like I'm trying to get set up to make a lot of these, and I hope so.
What material is the baton itself? The shaft.
It's a dowel.
Okay.
69-cent dowel from the lumber yard.
Nice.
Don't know what it is. Probably poplar. The other thing, I did, what was it, 150 or so eggs for the 2 stores that I'm in. Only one did not sell. I brought home 1 egg. Not eggs, the Christmas trees. The eggs, I turned 150 Christmas trees. I've turned 4 dozen eggs already. They're out in the stores, but the 2 stores are asking me for mushrooms. And so we started on mushroom production. This one is walnut. I have several chunks of walnut. Some old logs are just laying around in the shop. Can't really see the underside. They got so dark with the oil, but I turned them, took them to 320, and then put walnut oil on them. This one's a little stockier. I think this was the first one I did. So it's pretty stocky, pretty hefty. But then today I did 3 out of pear. This one's a nice round top. See some nice worm trails right there. This one's a little more an actual mushroom shape. These are all running about 4 inches tall, 4.5 inches tall, something like that. They're solid. They're not 2-piece jobs. Seen a lot of folks do 2-piece ones. This is a little bit different. I can get it where you can see the whole thing. Stem's got a little bit of a raise it up or lower it down. There we go.
I like it.
Yep.
Yeah. There's something a little different. Everyone's going to be different. I have no patterns I'm going by, just whatever's in my head.
Looks great.
Yeah.
All right. That's what I've got this week, folks.
I love the finish on them. That all finish. I really like that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's oil. I'm putting it on while it's still on the lathe, so I'm kind of buffing it in. A little bit of heat from my hand. But other than that, that's all I'm going to do to them.
Good. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you all.
That looks great.
Hey, Matt.
Seeing as how it's gnome time. There's a
Yes,
gnome.
look at that. I love the color.
I love it. Give it a bit to the Irish Brogue.
Yep.
Yeah,
Looks
it
good.
was fun. I spent the afternoon making gnomes, so this is still a little damp.
It looks
Oh,
great.
it's got bark. It's got bark around the top. I like that.
Yeah, it's bark.
Yes.
I got bark on the backside. And
Yes.
so, and this is burned. I just got a piece of plywood, and cranked the lathe up, and I'm really happy with how this one turned out. And
Yeah.
Nice
it
job,
being St.
Matt.
Patrick's Day and all, so there you go.
Yep. Nice.
That plywood's good for burn lines, and I know it comes in multiple thicknesses, so you can get little lines and big lines. But because of the cross of the grains, it really does nice. It's a trick. I learned that from Mickelson with the hats.
Twins.
Let's see
Yeah,
another.
I got scrapped because it's just laying around from making articulated arms. So
Yeah, great.
Right on.
Good seeing that, Matt.
All right, let's go to Bob. Hey, Bob.
There he is.
All right, hey guys. I've been busy making bowls. Our local club has a charity empty bowls deal this month, and they were asking for lots of bowls. So
Ooh, I like that.
That's
Love
nice.
that.
Now, this is elm. This is, to me, all the elm we get looks like this. It's a darker, lots of grain, lots of shadows.
Love
there.
it.
But there's
What's it
one.
finished with, Bob?
What's what now?
What was it finished with?
It's finished with that Krylar, our Krylon. You
Okay.
get it at Walmart.
Yeah.
and places, but it's that triple thick or something, so it goes on real thick. But sometimes I like it, especially if I can't buff it out, it covers real well. Here's another one. This is just with a beading tool.
Oh, that's
Dang.
cool.
Very nice beating.
Wow.
But yeah, they turned out pretty good. So anyway, I've got about 10 of them. All of them are different. This one here was a 3/16 bead. This one here was a 1/4 inch. I think I like the smaller bead better. And here's another one. This one here is pecan. Pecan to me is sometimes it's real pretty, and then other times it's not. It's like it's pretty plain looking. But this one had enough character to it.
Like it.
Looks great.
Anyway, I got 10 of them ready to go, so I'm ready for the meeting.
Are the bigger beads harder to turn than the smaller beads?
I don't think they're harder to turn. I think I just like the look of the smaller one better. Just closer together made it look a little better to me. Different strokes, different folks.
Very nice.
Thanks.
Yep, good job,
Yeah.
Bob.
They look
All right, let's
wonderful.
go to Terrell. What's happening, Terrell?
Terrell, you're on deck, sir.
Gotcha. There you go.
Okay,
Oh, too
kind of a bright light there. I don't know. Turn it back down.
It'll probably work. Show your piece.
There you go.
Eddie
Determine whether
wanted
we
me to
need
show
light.
the bow that I burned
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, burn the live edge.
Yeah.
that was silver maple.
Pretty piece.
Nice. Yep.
What's the finish? What'd you put on for a finish, Terrell?
Lacquer.
Okay.
Nice. Oh, there you go.
And I made a couple little,
No, cute.
Yeah.
Perfect change bowls
Hobby
or right
holders.
bowls or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice
Put
shape.
a little Greek salt in there, put it on the dinner table, and you'll amaze them.
Mm-hmm.
here's another one.
Oh,
That's cute.
very nice.
Good deal.
That's silver maple with just my finishing wax, sanding wax. I made a few tools.
Oh, big handle. Very nice.
What you got stuck in there? Skew?
Yep.
It's a hot 6x14 by 200 high strength steel. And here's another one I got a little radius on.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you buying your steel, Terrell?
Pardon?
Where did you buy your steel?
Off of Amazon. I think it was iCell or something like that.
Okay. I luck out. I have a online metal.com warehouse here. So if they have it in the warehouse, I don't have to pay shipping. So I like them. But you got to be close to a warehouse.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
I've not tried to find a supplier here. Those were cherry handles, and this is a Duke,
Nice.
and this is a little bit thicker.
Wow. That's a doozy.
Those are nice tools.
Yeah, they made nice tools. But there's another Purdue handle.
Yeah.
A little bit sharper.
Very nice.
Yeah.
They could actually pass as a double, as a negative brake scraper.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I use it for.
Ask Cindy Droz. She loves hers.
Couple of wig stands.
Okay, good.
Nice. Nice job.
Oh, very nice.
Yep. Somebody will love that.
Yeah, I got another one.
Ooh, pretty.
Then I've got about 3 more. I'll give Dave an update on the website.
Nice.
Very nice.
And
gnome.
Yay.
With a pipe and all.
Yeah.
Very
That's in
nice.
front of them. I love
Nice.
Look at that, Matt Albert. Oh, look, he can hang out with your boys, Matt.
Yeah, yeah.
that. Looks
Nice.
It looks like
Got
a
some gold to
leprechaun.
share. Very nice, Terrell.
great.
Very
That looks
nice.
great.
that's
Great
about
beard
it.
on that one.
Thank you, Terrell.
Couple of months
Very
more.
nice, Terrell.
That's
Looks
beautiful
good.
work.
Looks good. Hey, Terrell just showed us his gnome. Matt Harbor showed us his gnome a few minutes ago. This is the gallery challenge of gnomes tonight. So if you got a gnome, we'll give you priority on gallery. Okay, but put I have a gnome in the chat when you say I have something to show tonight. And Dane Channel will introduce you and then talk to us. And we'll find you. Because there's 75, 80 people in there right now. And the screen's a little hard to follow, but do that. And we have a demonstration coming up with Scott in a little while. And Scott showed us a "Don't let this happen to you" with the face, with the face shield a little bit earlier. And he'll recap that when we get started on our demo following our Safety Sue conference conversation. But we really emphasize don't learn by experience when it comes to these safety problems. Learn by precautions, please. We're still working on the stickers. The club is pursuing some stickers for worldwide wood turners, and we're looking to get them. It'll be 3 inches in diameter, roughly, and it'll be a smooth face, like a matte face. And easy to apply to almost anything. And to market them to you, the members, and anybody in the world can buy them, okay? And to market them to you, we will offer them in packages of 10. So it's easier on the group, the club, to put 10 in an envelope, put your name on it, put a stamp on it, and out the door it goes. Not, I got to have 3 for this and 2 for that. And this. We have to bring it down a little bit because there's no profit in this operation. No profit. We do plan on attending some of these conferences or symposiums this year. And in doing so, our membership and attendance there will have some of these stickers to pass out to get our name in front of other folks so that they'll join us. So that's what's happening on the sticker front. We're getting close on that. We get them done, we will talk about it. We're hoping to work out a way to make online ordering possible. My tax guy is trying to figure out how, because of my business and my income and all, it can't be on my account. But we'll work something out. And the website, I had a call, and I don't answer my phone very much anymore. But I had it on because we had a medical conference that day. And I answered my phone because it was like area code looked like it was in the Northwest United States. And I said, hey, and this guy said, I gotta give you a call and tell you, I just looked at your website and it is the world's greatest wood turning website. And right off the bat, I said, this has got to be Ron Radler, right? This is Ron. disguising the voice. You know, no, it wasn't. It was the president of another club up that way. And he said it comes up every single meeting about what they've seen, what they've heard, and what's been demonstrated on our website. And he wasn't a member. He wasn't a follower. He's there tonight. Yep, he's in the crowd tonight, right now. See his name popped up. Welcome, sir. Welcome to all you folks that join us. And remember, it's free. There's no commitment. All you have to do is love wood turning. And really, we don't care what kind of tools, what kind of lathe, what kind of finish, what kind of whatever. It's not our business of what you do. We want to see what you do. We want to see how it turned out, what your mind came up with, what you turn on. We're going to see that tonight with with Scott. We had a really cool time last week on our demonstration. We've had some awesome things, and we're still looking. Our demonstration master is Dane Chandler. He lines them up. So if you say, I want to do a demonstration in chat, Dane's got you. Now, trust me, you can't get out of that. Once you tell Dane you're going to do a demonstration, he'll be knocking on your door within a week if you get back to him. We don't miss the chance. Everybody's got something to share, and we love sharing it. So get on board with us. And same with our galleries. Our galleries are a key part of our meetings because you get to show us your stuff. And in saying that, I know we got some folks in the lineup right now. Dane, who wants to really show us this stuff?
Well, let's go to Charlie. He's got a bunch of stuff he wants
to. Charlie Bundy?
Plus he's got gnomes.
I'm here. Can you
I
find
Keep
me?
talking, Charlie.
I
There you go.
you.
All right. This I blame Matt Harbor for this one. When he said somebody had made a Viking gnome, I had to make a Viking.
I like it.
Yeah, cute.
Awesome. Awesome.
And then I'm a hunter, and I archery hunt. I rifle hunt too, but I archery hunt. I had to make a hunter.
Back it up.
Oh,
There
I
he
like
is.
That's cute.
Oh my goodness.
You can't see the bow is strung, so it's got a string in it.
I like it.
Once I got started, I was enjoying making them. I made lots of them.
Oh, that one looks just like you, Charlie.
I
was
used to have
talking
a
about
beard, but
I was talking about the lack of hair.
well, there's no hat. And my little one.
Cute.
That's cute.
Got a little one over your right shoulder too.
Who's the little
Yeah,
one
I
sneaking
see
in?
that.
Is that your granddaughter?
Just a friend's daughter spending the night.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's cute.
And most of this is made, I don't know what, some of them I could tell are oak and maple, but most of it, I don't know what it was, just pieces in the floor or in the pile.
That's what I love about projects like this is you get to use all that stuff, put it to good use.
I learned something about the fur though. Careful what you buy. You get what you pay for. I went to Hobby Lobby and I bought a whole bunch. Some of it was on sale. They were discontinuing that supplier. I put it on, it shrinks.
That's cute and it looks like a bumblebee.
How does it shrink, man? What, you getting it wet?
Yeah.
How does that work?
I don't know. Well, the one I dyed, the Viking,
Yeah.
I dyed. You couldn't find yellow beard anywhere.
Look on Amazon. I saw
beard
some yellow.
shrunk.
I saw some yellow fur on Amazon. Look on there. I'll see if I can find it. I had somebody request a blonde one, so I had to look. So I saw some yellow.
Oh,
on there
that's
too.
good. That kind of looked like a beehive on his head.
Yep.
Cool.
Those gnomes will wear anything. Yeah, that's it. They'll just put anything on.
Very nice, Charlie.
Here's the last one. He's my Avenger.
Oh, he's avenging you.
Charlie, you have a whole army.
Yep.
Looks great.
And then the only thing else I've made is I've made little funeral urns for commemorative ashes.
Yep. Tight fit. Good.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, you don't want them getting out.
Yep.
Good stuff, Charlie.
Nice job,
Thanks,
Terrell.
Charlie.
That's it. I showed you the whole family.
Sounds good. All right, let's go to Dave. He's got some gnomes. Hey, Dave.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Yeah, I got some gnomes here. And one here is okay. This one here is a one piece. And being up in Minnesota with all the snow, and we're continuing to get snow, I put skis on him, and so it came out okay. Then after Trey talked about the ornament stand bases with the angle cut on it, my wife Trish says, well, we ought to put angle cut hats on these things. So here's how gnome with a tilted back hat, and it's a two piece, like that one. And then there's the big dog here, and tried to talk about life and or your attitude or anything like that. That was my goal on that one. And,
That's
Good
nice.
on, Dave.
And then this is the one that's going to go to a niece's, child, and they're all redheaded in the family. And again, tried to put the hat on a kind of a rakish tilt to it, and so anyway, two pieces and kind of concave the hats, and put a 10 in there and drill. And then I actually used a bench sander, kind of put the angle on the body, and then drilled it and set the hats in. So it worked out okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
And since it's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, I make fly switches for mosquitoes and flies out of horsehair, and this one is cedar and dyed horsehair. But in Minnesota, March 17th, there's not a lot of mosquitoes or flies around. But when you get further south, like a lot of people live, yeah, they come in handy. So anyway, that's what I have.
I like that fly swatter.
Yeah,
Dave.
around in Florida.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, let's try to go back to Ray Davis. He's got something. He was booted out earlier. Here he is. Ray, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Did you get me? I see
Well, I'm
Randy
looking at
Smith,
I'm looking at Randy Smith.
Yeah, we're looking at Randy. Let's go and do Ray.
I'm here. There we got me. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't have any gnomes to show tonight. After my soccer ball, I went back to something I knew a little bit better and segmented. So I've got a segmented bowl, and I told you I was going to do some sailboats. So I did sailboats.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that.
Astonishing.
Nice.
Hey, Ray, that's beautiful. That is gorgeous.
Thank you.
That is really nice.
Wow.
So there's 8 sailboats there and 16 sails above. And
wow.
Very nice. Very nice.
Oh man, that is gorgeous.
Yes, it is.
Nice piece. A hell of a segment, Ray.
Thank you.
Definitely.
That is gorgeous.
There's 504 pieces in it.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Beautiful.
There we go.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice inside. Oh my goodness.
You put a floating bottom?
It's not floating, but it is a segmented bottom.
Yeah.
It's
I see it now. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
16 segments there.
That's cracking for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That
Just seeing that piece makes it Just seeing that piece right there, Ray, makes this worthwhile coming here tonight. Just
thank
that
you.
one piece.
I'm not super happy with it, but it is what it is. And
Pretty.
I don't see a thing wrong with it.
You can send it to me if you want to.
I want to know how long it took to make it.
I was working on it about 2 weeks, but you know, the wife has always got things for me to do and doctor's appointments and stuff, and go here, go there, and seemed like it. You get back and you got to figure out where you're at and start over again. And I had to make the top twice. I just wasn't happy with the first top, and not really happy with this one. But
oh my goodness,
it is what it is.
It's gorgeous.
Okay, how long's it gonna be before a member says, we want to help you get over your unhappiness, Ray, send it to me? I mean, not a single member said that yet.
Yeah, send it to any of us.
Yeah, I had first dibs.
I'll get you a picture. How's that?
I like
Thank you for the comments.
Yeah, we can take away your pain.
Maybe you
Now
can
I'm
show us
typing
how to
right
do
now to
that.
Ray, so don't be overbidden.
Maybe you can show us how to do that feature ring sometime.
No, I don't know if he's hearing me.
That's very tedious.
Yeah, I think
A lot
so.
of little pieces in there. I think it winds up being 16 pieces in just the sail portion here.
Yeah, I bet.
And, selected the wood, and I wish the wood showed a little bit better on the sailboat itself, but it is what it is.
We can see fine. Looks great.
All right. Well, Joaquin, you have the unfortunate task to follow that up. So
thank you.
Well, I have a black light. So this is that.
Yeah,
black
we could tell that.
This is that black locust multi-axis goblet. Billy Burt asked me to finish it. So I wanted to break up the black light to show you that the locust fluoresces. But let me get some real light on here.
That's cool.
I thought we
So-
flashed back to the 60s. Woo.
So now we have real light. Now it doesn't, the fluorescing doesn't really translate very well on camera because of their filters, but you get the picture. So I was saying in the chat, this is how I do my business cards. I get these 64 a pop for I think $8 on Amazon. It's 1/10 of an inch thick. I don't know what that translates to in fractions. Billy Burt was asking, and I just burned my business cards on the laser. And everybody goes, I've never seen that before. So they remember me. So they're the most expensive
I
business
just
cards.
got to get out my laser and figure it out.
Yeah, they're the most expensive business cards, but nobody does that. So it's very unique and everybody remembers me. I
Yeah.
wanted to show you a work in progress. I'm still working on this. There's a lady named Leslie Morton, and she does bandsaw boxes. And she sent me a box of the cutouts from her bandsaw boxes, the insides of the drawers. And I thought, what better way to honor, her bandsaw boxes are incredible. So I wanted to preserve her bandsaw box shape, the drawer shape of her bandsaw box, but make it my box. So this, I don't know if you can see it, but I left, you've still got all the saw marks and everything. I wanted to keep all of that on it. And then I put a little accent in the bottom and just turned a little walnut foot and a walnut lid. And I'm still glue setting between the base and the body, and I'll finish everything. I'll finish hand sanding tomorrow. But that's all those little cutout drawers from bandsaw boxes. There's something you can do with them, and it's just something unusual that some of you pick up and fall in love with. So
That's pretty cool, Joaquin.
And then I've been doing some pens. I got an order from, and I can't show you the two nicest ones because those were for friends and they're gone. I got an order from McKinsey Penworks. This is the new Coyote Click pen with the Schmidt mechanism, and that's zebra wood. And
Nice.
Very nice.
My buddy who gave me the piece of zebra wood said, I've never seen zebra wood look that good. And I can't agree more. It's really nice. I don't know if you can see the chatoyancy.
That smells horrible though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But it's pretty.
Oh, it is gorgeous.
It's pretty. No, let's see. Oh, okay. So this is a mystery blank. It's a piece of dyed and stabilized buckeye burl. And the lighting is terrible in here. Let's try over here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty.
Beautiful.
So for whatever reason, when
white
I
back-
and this is the
And a white
desire.
backdrop would be able to see it better.
Yeah. Hang on. Let's see here.
Countertop's not doing you any favors.
I don't know if I have anything white sitting right here. We go.
Paper
Box
towel.
of,
Piece of paper.
here's a box of lens cleaners. That's white. We'll zoom you in. Maybe.
No
Oh,
help.
we can't zoom. We can't zoom. All right, here we go. So for whatever reason, when I put the CA glue on and started gluing the barrel in, the CA glue set immediately. And so I was hung halfway out. And I didn't want to lose this pen because this color is just fantastic on this dye job. So I cut it off, brought it to the other side, and then using UV resin and peridot powder, I inlaid peridot in there to patch it up. So I came up with a better pen. And then this is the Mackenzie Penworks Desire. I got to tell you, these are made in the USA. I'm not paid by them, but they are mighty fine pen kits. Mighty fine pen kits. So this is another peridot inlay. This was supposed to be box elder burl, and it's not. So I got a bum deal from Penn State on that order. So to make it interesting, I did a peridot inlay in the middle of that one too. Peridot's the only powdered stone I have right now. But here's the pen that I'm the proudest of. This is just a cutoff a buddy gave me from a piece of East India rosewood. Let's see if we can get the grain in there. Hang on, let me move over here by the light.
Yeah, the lighting's not picking it up, Joaquin.
Oh, there you go.
There you
Oh,
go.
my.
Now we can see it.
Yes.
We could probably see the other ones too if you bring it over and do that also.
Yeah, I'll bring the other ones
Really
over.
could-
So that's
black blur.
cross grained East India rosewood.
That is gorgeous.
It just turned out so fantastic. Hang on, I'll bring the other ones over here. Sorry. I have weird lighting in my kitchen. So this is the knot burl with peridot. This is the St. Patrick's Day pen.
Very
So it's not a gnome, but it's green. All right, here's this buckeye burl. The color is what's got me. I just couldn't pass. I had to save it because of that coloration. Just look at that.
Beautiful.
I don't even know where I got that pen blank. I've got it years ago. I have no idea where it came from.
Is that the one you said your two pros on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are just some woods that do that. I don't understand it. Every once in a while you run into that.
Yeah, I got the tube halfway in and it just locked. It was done. That CA
Was it-
set immediately.
Was it warm? Like
No,
you just drilled it or something?
It was a whopping 42 degrees yesterday when I made that pen.
Is that marble wood there?
That's zebra wood.
Yeah,
Zebra
it looks great.
Yeah, it turned out really nice. And that is, I don't like CA finishes on natural wood. That's the hot, perfect pen polishing system.
Beautiful.
And I love its finish. So that's all I got.
Joaquin, when you get back to your computer, would you put a link to the Mackenzie pens, please?
Oh, yes, I sure will. I'll put it up. I can put it in chat here in just a minute.
Cool.
That'd be great. Thank you.
And a link to the business card thing you spoke about on Amazon for members.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll
Looking
throw that in there too. You betcha.
I
Because
don't know
that's
where
what we do.
Yep. I don't know where he got it. I had wooden business cards made 10 years ago, and I don't know where he got the wood for it. It was really thin plywood, but they're really cool.
Nice.
It works out very neat. There we
All
go.
right, let's
Somebody
go to
put
safety.
Mackenzie pens in there.
Thank you, Daniel.
Okay, now I saw a minute ago. It's that time. Yes, it is, folks. Just about time to do our demonstration. But before our demonstration, we go here Live and direct to Safety Sue. What's up, Sue?
Howdy, folks. I first want to talk about a lovely compliment that we got from Bunny Ramey. Unfortunately, all of us, and I mean all of us, we don't think of safety items till something happens. And her and her husband are both avid watchers, but they're not able to watch us live, so they catch us during the week on YouTube or on our Facebook. But they really watch the safety tip recommendation, which thank you. However, what happened was she wrote, make sure the tool rest is clamped firmly. My husband George forgot to check the tool rest clamp was tightened. When he got a catch, his tool rest dropped. The gouge spun all the way around and smacked his thumb, breaking it. And on the side of his hand's all bruised. Now, is that from the same person? Because she was talking about a broken thumb.
That's the same person.
Okay.
She sent me the photograph.
I appreciate that. You have to make sure everything is tightened down and secure before you turn. The next safety tip is on me, guys. Brenda, just write me on the list again, okay?
Oops. Uh-oh. Sue, what did you do?
Oh, Safety Sue, tell me it ain't so.
I know.
Sue's got two.
Safety Sue, what did you do?
Been like a linebacker.
Guys, bandsaw.
Oh.
I've always said, make sure that your hands are 3 inches away from that saw blade. And I was cutting a bunch of branches so that I could make gnomes because I was feeling really good. I wanted to get back in the shop. So I cut some branches to make gnomes, and I had some wood that was labeled maple when I got it. And so I figured I'd cut off the edges. This wood is a 4x4. And out of all the cuts I did today, and I did another one before this one, on the very last cut. Now I'm left-handed and I was cutting it this way. Unfortunately, it probably was this way, upside down. Anyways, when it went through, it popped out. When it popped out, my left hand hit my right hand and it went right into the blade. Yes, I should have gone and had stitches because it looked pretty bad, but I didn't. I cleaned it off as well as I could and I super glued it together. Thank God for 3408. I didn't have any butterflies here.
That hurts just thinking about it.
Oh man, yeah. It does hurt. It's a little warm, but I'm a little swollen, but it's not bad. That's my okay.
I'm just worried about tendon damage since you didn't go into the hospital.
What kind of damage?
Maybe you should get a tetanus shot.
Tendon damage to your fingers, the tendons in your fingers.
I don't know. I mean, I can still bend them and stuff.
Okay.
Maybe you should get a tetanus shot. That blade
probably, but aren't they good for about 10 years?
Yes.
Yes, they
All
are.
right, well, then I'm good, guys.
Just rub some dirt on it.
Well, what I did today is my grandson came over and I cut off the bandage. I just wanted somebody here, but I was going to change the bandage for the first time. And I sprayed this stuff on it. That was the recommended before here from a nurse. And so, yeah, it was actually Ronnie who recommended it. I guess one of his daughters is a nurse and she told him that when you hurt yourself to get this. So that's what I did. I cleaned it up with that and then re-wrapped it, and I'll do it again later on tonight. But yeah.
So
Yeah,
If they can focus on me for a half a second, if you'll notice the missing appendage.
Where at?
Who,
Who's
yes,
talking?
Doug in New Hampshire. Okay, this
Doug in-
is, yes, this is from a nick from a bandsaw.
We still don't see you. Oh,
There
there
you
you
go.
are.
Okay,
got it.
that right there is a nick from a bandsaw. I nicked the tendon. After a year and 4 operations, it had to come off. So make sure,
Where ended underneath or on top?
right there, right on top, just like this. I just nicked that joint. And I nicked the tendon, the extensor tendon, so I couldn't do this. I went to 1 year's worth of PT, 4 separate operations. And the final result was we had to amputate.
All right.
So
Well, right
it
now,
might be,
I mean,
it might be worth your going to the
can, but
doctor.
I can go to the doctor. It's no problem. I haven't
Do you
had
have
any,
full
well, if
flexion?
I have this on there, I would.
What worries me
Okay.
is the swelling in your hand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the problem I'm looking at. You need to
Yep.
go see a doctor.
Mhm.
All right.
Well, I ended up with tendonitis from the tip of my finger all the way back to my elbow, which still
Okay.
affects me today, 2
Don't
years
do that
later.
with your hand.
And
Sue off your head.
yeah, it's just,
Sue, take your hand off your chin.
Oh, thank you.
so please, Sue, from the voice of experience, it can get worse, and mine did.
All right. Well, I'll just go up to Bardmore Emergency tomorrow and get it checked out.
Yeah, just go to an urgent
Trying to
care
make-
facility or
Yeah,
something.
go to an urgent care
Yep.
and,
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely do that, Sue, please.
All right, I'll do that.
Voice of
You're
experience
making
here.
my hand hurt.
Well, it hurt like crazy last night, right?
Oh, yes.
It's got to really bother you because you're the safety lady.
Didn't even, I was gonna keep my hand out of you all night, but I thought, okay, this is the opportunity.
Yep, you gotta own up to it, don't you?
I owned up to it,
Yes.
but I didn't have anything in the house
Doing good, doing good.
drink in order to drown my sorrows. So I did some shopping online, and I got a depth thing so that I can.
Ah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
That's perfect excuse to buy a new toy.
Yes.
One can never have enough toys, so bought a new calendar.
Good job.
You better get a push stick.
1-8.
And the thing is, I have push sticks, but I decided that the next time that I still have a few more of these to cut. I'm gonna put the table
Okay.
at a 40
And
45.
you said about 5 o'clock. Is that what's a good time for you?
Hold on.
I got him.
You got
right,
it?
thanks.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Sue.
so I'm gonna put my bandsaw table at a 45, put this on the sled that I have that I push things through, and that's how I'm gonna do it next time. So that my hands will be on either side of the sled, and this will be clamped into the sled. So
Yeah, I was gonna say you can use a clamp.
Sue, is that bloodwood?
they told me it was maple.
I'm just messing with you.
It is now.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is now.
Wonder how long it
I'm
takes.
sorry.
They told me it was maple, but it was hard as a rock.
Well, it's hard maple.
Well, yeah, but
Wow.
I didn't think it'd be that hard. I mean, it's still got 19% moisture in it.
Yeah. Sue, when's the last time you changed your bandsaw blade?
I'd say 4 or 5 months ago, but I haven't used it in several months.
I've got
So-
some rock maple that's really, really hard.
Exactly.
Well, I'm wondering
Sure.
if your
You know, my
blade is
sister
dull
said-
and that's why you were
Rock
forcing the
maple
cut.
and hitting. And I said, no, Karen, we'll have to find out. So it could be rock maple.
Sue, my accident occurred just exactly like yours. I was in a hard spot. All of a sudden it hit a soft spot, spun quickly on me. So
Yeah.
just like yours did, just spun quick.
And It's, it only takes a nanosecond.
Absolutely true.
Of course, of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
I said that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to make you a little sled. Make you a sled that you can actually screw things to it to cut.
Yeah, well, I've got that, and that's what I'm going to do from now on. So
Why would you cut a turning blank at 45 degrees? What do you?
No, just cut the corners
Oh,
off.
they cut the edges off.
So it's not going to be round, but it'd be easier to get it round on the lathe.
If I were you, I'd do it out with a roughing gouge works better.
Yeah, just turn it off.
Well, no,
Yeah, forget bandsaw.
It
Buy
takes
yourself an instrument. Get yourself a
found
big
that it
roughing
takes-
gouge.
All right.
Yeah, use the roughing gouge, because I found that by the time you take all that time cutting those corners off, roughing gouge would have taken that off plus more. So
okay.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
it
plus
doesn't
the
really
wear and
save
tear
you
on
any time or effort at all, really. Yeah.
Okay.
Less chance of cutting your finger off.
Thanks.
Wow, Sue, it's like we got Sue, it's like we got a double whammer here tonight. You not only told us about it, but you showed us about it.
Plus, we're
thank
wood
you so
turners,
much.
not sawyers.
That's right. That's
There
right.
you go.
Okay.
Mm-mm-mm.
We're just about ready to
Thank
start
you,
our
everybody.
demonstration for this evening. Thank you, Sue, for being part of that and doing this. Sue's a volunteer, is just a member just like you, gets involved with our meetings. We'd like to hear more. If you have a safety tip or a safety idea or a story that would relate or help somebody avoid a problem, just as we did tonight, we all shared ideas, please share it with us. You can send it to us through our website, through our email address. You can put it on our Facebook page. We want to hear from you and get you involved. Now, I'm going to introduce Scott, is going to do our demonstration for us tonight. Scott's going to lead off by showing you something he did earlier today that might necessarily be related to his demonstration, but is related to something Sue just talked about, and that's safety. But before we start, I want to mute the entire audience, everybody on here, 80 something folks right now. And then Scott will unmute himself to talk. We do that because sometimes the background sounds, you don't realize they come on, come through and interrupt the demonstration. Another thing is, this is Scott's demonstration. Please let him continue unless you see something dangerous, hazardous, or really out of this world, goofy, stupid, whatever. But if you got questions, if you would hold them to the end, he might answer them before you even get there. So let's go right now, live and direct to Scott to get our demonstration for this evening. Scott, you're up on deck, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My internet's not so great tonight, so hopefully you don't lose me. So here's what Eddie was talking about, if I can get it in the camera. There's my face shield from earlier today. So it's got a pretty nasty crack in it. So that was from a piece of this material, something like this, that it decided it was going to explode in the middle. It split literally in half. So
It was a pen blank that broke.
pen blank that broke. Yep.
Oh my.
And because I don't use a mandrel, everything came flying, including the tube. So, and Sue, if you can see that, let's see, I'll pull it out a little bit. You can see that, go to the doctor. I cut my thumb off on a table saw 40 years ago. So it pays to go to the doctor. So we're going to start out with a pen demo today. Turning some resin. Some of the guys wanted to see, I'm going to turn this back to my drill press. Wanted to see how to use negative rake cutters. So I use a lot of them to turn pens. Actually, I use negative rake a lot. And Dane asked if I would do a demo on negative rake cutters. So that's what we're going to work on tonight. I'm just going to show you a few tricks that I've learned making hundreds and hundreds of pens. I used to do pens as production. So in my drill press here, I have a set of V jaws for drill and pen blanks. They're magnetic. They clamp on, you can adjust them around. And what I like about them, no matter, I was drilling odd sizes today. I can slide this in here. Hold it from the bottom with my finger. Get it in the V block and it's centered. It's automatically centered because I'm using those V blocks. Those V blocks will put any square or not square piece in the center because the V blocks take up the slack for drilling that hole. You don't, very rarely do I ever move this vise to center these parts, no matter what size they are. They'll pretty much always come out in the center. Unless you go to something really big like these may not, but they're way oversized. This is a standard 1-inch blank. This is 1.25 inch blank. This one might not come out in the center. And as you can see, it doesn't fit in my system very well. So I'd have to move my jig because it's hitting the base of this machine. So any questions with how to make these V blocks? Does everybody know how to make those?
What kind of material are you using?
This is just HTP plastic.
Okay.
So what I do is I cut, if I can get it to focus, I cut a slot in the middle first, the depth that I want. I tilt the table saw blade to 45 degrees and make 2 passes. This starts out as one piece like this, and then I cut it in half to get my 2 sides. Because then the V blocks are identical to one another. I can flip them over, do whatever I want to them, and they'll always be centered on themselves. Like so, because you cut the V at the same time. And that's provided your rip fence and your table saw cuts straight, but hopefully you have that adjusted correctly. Does everybody understand how that works?
Sounds good to me.
You covered it, Scott.
So here's one pen that I'm going to show you how to make later. For all the veterans out there, they might like a neat pen like this. This is a 308, actual 308 cartridge that's been drilled and has a 7mm pen tube put in it. And a standard 7mm transmission. And I just turn the wood end to match the shell casing. So we'll do one of those towards the end. I'll move the camera and I'll start turning a piece of resin. Once I get it set up here. Bear with me.
With your face shield on, right?
With my junky face shield on. The one I don't like. So everybody can see that, right?
Yes, you look
Focus is
good.
Now, Scott, the one that broke, is that made by Uvex called the Bionic?
Yes, it is. It's the Bionic.
Yeah, and folks, if you're not aware of them, they're probably one of the best face shields that you and I can get.
Right there's what's
and it's
what's
comfortable
left.
to wear.
Yep. So I ordered new shields for it today. They're $9.99 on Amazon. This is a UVEX shield too, but it's a cheap one. It's just doesn't have the bottom on it, the chin guard, which is what I don't like about it.
What is that cord behind you dragging, running across the floor behind you?
This here?
Yeah, it looks like you were about to trip over it a minute ago.
That's plugging my modem in so we have Wi-Fi. So
don't trip over it.
This, I won't, it's sitting on the floor actually. I bumped it, but it's sitting on the floor. So with the headset I have on, this old face shield isn't gonna fit. So I'm gonna make sure I stand off to the side when I do this. I'll wear some safety glasses. Now, speed is your friend when you're turning acrylics. The faster you can turn it, or the comfortable you can turn, speed you can turn at is the best, okay? I turn at 1850. If you're not comfortable at that speed, go slower. I also wear a glove because I'm allergic to the resin. My hands break out from the resin. Normally, I wouldn't wear a glove. But it's a tight fitting glove. It's a mechanic's glove. So it's tight to my fingers. And I only use it on the hand that's up against the tool rest. So I turn between centers. Guess I should talk about that first. I don't use a mandrel. I do like Dane does, sorta. This is just a drive point. It's a dead center. It's just a Morris taper that fits into my headstock live center on this end. And I just take the standard bushings and put it in the pen tube. I glue my tubes in ahead of time.
That's what I do.
So that's how the pen tubes start. I square them off. Some guys don't do that. I like to do it ahead of time. It's just preference. So when I put this in here, I crank this up and I listen to the machine, and you guys probably won't be able to hear it because it'll cancel out. But I listen for a particular sound, and that tells me when it's tight. One thing about turning resin between centers. The nice part about doing this versus a mandrel, if you get a catch, it stops. It doesn't chip out quite as bad as what it would be if you didn't turn between, if you turned on a mandrel. So it forces you to take light cuts. So here we go. My tool's on center, and I cut just a little up or a little down depending on the material I'm cutting. This piece is a piece of Alumilite. It's very chippy and it's hard. It doesn't turn as nice as polyester resin.
Please note those are camera flashes. He's not got a piece that's gone back and forth, okay?
Can you see that, or does the camera need to be over the top?
Oh, no, it's working fine, Scott. Just the harmonics of the wood material and the camera are sometimes counteracting each other.
Okay, there. Now you can see my tool rest a little better to see what I'm doing with the tool. See if this light washes it out a little. See how that works for you. I'm watching you on a TV screen in my shop, so I can see this on a big screen while I'm doing this.
Yeah.
It's off to my left, just for people who want to try to do demos. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's why I had it set up last week, but mine went dead.
So one of the things I do is I hardwire right to my TV. I run an HDMI cable from my laptop to my TV, so that works out good. One other thing I want to talk about, turning resin, especially polyester resin. Heat is your enemy. Don't go crazy. Take your time. The hotter that pen blank gets, the worse it cuts. You should get nice soft ribbons like this. They shouldn't be frozen hard when you get to them, okay? So I'm cutting a little bit with the corner, if you can hear me. not cutting so much with the center of the tool. So now when I get fluff on here like this, I just take a acid brush and it takes it right off. So you don't have to shut the lathe off every time you want to clean that off.
The old toothbrush works well for that too.
Yes, toothbrush would work great too.
Billy, is that what you did to my toothbrush?
Guilty.
So you can see why everybody hates turning resin. It's a mess.
Yes.
But it finishes so nice.
Yes, it does. So I don't use any CA finish on mine. I just polish them. So I'm going to do a Rachel Ray here in a few minutes. I'll switch to one that I already got ready to be polished.
Yeah, no
So I'll get
finish
this one
needed.
down. Put this one down a little farther.
Is that a negative rate scraper that you're using on there?
Yes, it is. This one's a square. It's a square one. So I'll show you I do use the round one on occasion, but I prefer the square one for roughing part of it. I'll use the round one when I get to doing the ends here, these ends.
Thank you.
One of the things I like about doing it with a dead center instead of a mandrel, I cut better to my right because I'm right-handed. I cut better going this way, towards the tailstock, than I do going towards the headstock. So sometimes I'll take this blank and flip it around to do the last pass. So I take this down just about to the mandrel. And we'll shut this off. Let it stop spinning. I take my fingernail and I test this with my fingernail. And you always have an extra mandrel. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I hit this one on this end. This one I hit it. It's now junk.
Oh, you mean the bushing?
I hit the bushing, yep. Sorry, I said mandrel, I meant bushing. So I hit the bushing and I undercut it by a few thousandths. You can see that.
Yeah.
So that one's now goes in my scrap bin and it'll get made into something else. Luckily, I have extra ones. Carbide will cut these bushings, as you can see. Only in a demo.
Well, they do use carbide for machining steel, so.
Yep. And this is soft steel, whatever this is. I'm not sure what they make those bushings out of, but it's pretty soft. Because I've made them into different sizes for doing different things.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to use my round cutter. This is also negative rake. Oh, focus, nice. So now I'm going to do my ends. And I actually start almost on the bushing and I just get those ends. The nice part about using the round here, you don't tend to hit the bushing. You can come from the bushing side and not hit the bushing. Now that's close enough for me. I'll do the rest of it with a piece of 220 sandpaper. And I'll just do a quick, show you how I quick sand it. So I round mine so they don't feel sharp. If your mandrels or your bushings are a little off. Dane talked about how they don't look right or don't feel right. So I take and round mine just a little bit with a piece of sandpaper. You can round that over to that bushing and then it'll feel smooth in your hand. You won't notice it as much if it's not quite the right size. If you buy generic Gatsby pen kits, this is a Sierra pen kit. You buy Gatsby pen kits, I guarantee you the bushings aren't going to fit every time you order a set of pens. They don't, for whatever reason, their manufacturing process isn't very good, not very consistent. So I just take a piece of sandpaper on the bottom and I'll just round that over till I start seeing I'm kissing the bushing. I don't know if you can see that I'll do it on the other end for you. Now I'm going to stick my hand underneath the backside. Try not to hit my switch. And I just bring that back and round it down to the bushing. That takes away the sharp edge if it's not exactly perfect to your pen kit. And then I might just take a little quick sand like that. You know, sanding's boring. But I'll just kind of show you my process. That's about all the sanding I do with the 220. Then I'll come back with and take my scratches and run them vertical along with the grain, just like running grain on a piece of wood. And I'll take that all the way to 600. I'm not going to bore you with that because I got some that are already to that point to 600. So if you notice this pen blank, you can put some denatured alcohol on there. Don't use acetone to clean your epoxy pen blanks because it eats the spin, it eats the epoxy. Ask me how I know. So you can see that pen blank looks semi-translucent.
Yeah.
That pen blank has, so you don't see the tube in it. I put a black chrome tube in it. So that makes the color stand out. So you gotta watch what you put in for pen tubes. If I put a brass one in there, you'd be able to see the brass. It would shine through as brass. This pen tube has a blue tube in it. You can't buy blue tubes, so you have to make them yourself. So I take a can of Rust-Oleum, high gloss, whatever color you need, and paint the tube, and I bake it in the oven at 250 degrees for 20 minutes. I have a rack that I can pop it in an oven. If you have a toaster oven, you could do it in a toaster oven. It just hardens the finish so that when you go to glue it up, it doesn't slime the finish off. Because if you use CA glue, it will loosen the paint and make a mess. So typically when I paint tubes, I use epoxy. Okay. That one has a blue tube in it. So I'm cheap. If I can make my own colors, I make my own colors. So there's a blue tube. This one actually has metallic in it, so it'll actually make a blank kind of have a glitter effect to it on the inside.
Nice.
I'm cheaper yet. I use Sharpies to color my tubes. Works great.
And that works. And that works too. That's a great suggestion, Billy. I do that with yellow because I can't find fluorescent yellow that matches fluorescent yellow in any of the pen blanks. So this is white acrylic paint, enamel paint from Rust-Oleum. And I'm sure you could use other brands. I just use Rust-Oleum because that's what I'm used to using. So that's a white one. So you got to pay attention to what your blanks look like when you start. Some of them are translucent. Some of them you can change the color. This is one we're going to work on tonight. This one's green and white. I could have put a green tube in it because the green
Back it up
is.
just a bit.
There we go. How's that? Try not to shake.
That's better.
Okay, that one I put a white tube in, but I could have put a green tube in it if I could have found a color green that would have accented the green. But there was more. When I looked at the blank, it had more pearl white in it than it had green, so I decided to use a white tube. And that'll change the color of the pen kits. I made a pen not too long ago for a lady, and she broke it and wanted another one just like it. Well, I had the other half, and I forgot what color tube I put in it. So I was testing tubes until I figured out which one it was.
That blank reminds me of a wintergreen candy.
And that's what it's actually called, is wintergreen candy. Good guess, Billy. Are you looking in the window of my shop or what?
No, it's too cold up there for me.
What kind of glue?
Hey,
I
I had 50 degrees today, and when I stepped out a minute ago before we switched to me, it was raining.
Oh no.
We're supposed to get 3 to 5 inches of snow tonight.
Oh no.
So this is Aluminolite blank. This is a polyester resin blank. You can see the difference in how they look. They're both sanded to 600, but you can see the difference in how they shine. This one looks more waxy. So I'm going to take these two and I'm going to finish these two, the red one and the green one for you, and show you how I do it. And then I'll make a wooden one for you to show you how I put CA finish on, which is different than most of you guys, because I don't use Parfex.
Safety Sue does.
Safety Sue does. And I've actually used
For everything, you guys.
I've used Tight Bond to glue my fingers back together too. It works.
So Scott, there was a question earlier. They were asking what you use to glue your brass end to the blanks with.
Okay, if they're non-painted, I use medium CA glue. I use, if I can get it so it focus, the cameras will focus on it.
On medium.
This is Tight Bond
Pull it
medium.
back.
There we go. Yeah, it's the angle of my camera here. How about if I drop it down here? There we go. So it's Tight Bond medium. I use that to glue my acrylic blanks. My wood blanks, I use Tight Bond thin first, and I coat the inside of the blank. I pour it in so it runs out the other end, swirl it around, give it a few seconds, let it flash, and then I'll put medium CA on the tube and push that in there and just let it dry on its own. Now, Joaquin was talking earlier about having a pen tube stick on him. The reason it does that is the oil in the wood. So if you're using a real oily wood, use thick CA instead of medium, and it won't do that. The medium CA glue and the oils in the wood will cause it to freeze up before you get that pen tube in there all the way. Okay. So you got to kind of know what kind of wood you're using. If you're using bloodwood, Paduke, Osage orange, teak,
Rosewoods,
rosewoods. Yep, rosewoods. All those real exotic ones that are real oily and shine real nice without using CA glue. When you use CA glue to glue the tubes in, they're gonna freeze up on you before you get them in if you use medium or thin. So use thick. Glue them up the night, drill them, glue them up the night before you want to turn them. So they got all night for that CA to set all the way through. It'll bond in a few minutes where you could lightly turn it maybe, but if you want to make sure that it's not breaking that bond in that tube, let it sit overnight. I let all my acrylic tubes sit overnight. It's just something I do. There's no rhyme or reason, I guess. You can do it however you wish, but I find it's better if you leave them sit overnight. I let my epoxy, if I use 5-minute epoxy, I do the same thing. So if you're gluing like this one, because I used blue paint on it and I didn't want it to smear, I used epoxy. And don't use 1-minute epoxy because you'll crack your blanks. The heat of the epoxy flashing will crack these blanks. So you want to use 5-minute or longer epoxy. Don't, like I say, do them the night before, so you don't worry about them cracking. I've had them already crack, and I think that's why that one exploded. I had a thermal reaction. It was a painted pen tube. It was actually the other half of this blank. And I think what happened is it had a thermal crack in it that I couldn't see. It was on inside. When I got just about to the end, it exploded. Scared the living, you know what, out of me. I wasn't expecting that at the very end because you don't have a lot of pressure on them at the very end. So I'm going to take a pan of water. I'm going to make a pan of water for myself. And I use micro mesh to do my final sanding. And then I use car polish at the very end to give it its ultimate shine. And if I can set this here so I don't spill it. And because I have a terrible memory, I was telling Dane the other day, I have a memory like a steel trap. Everything gets in, nothing gets out. So I keep my card here with the colors and the grits. And I start at 1,500 and I'll end at 12,000. Maybe it's better down there. So I keep that close to my lathe so I can see what color I'm on. And I usually have them all nice and neatly stacked in a little tray. What colors go in what order. So all I have to do is reach down and grab and throw the other one in the bin. Give me a second. I'm going to sort these quick. So we're not wasting any time. Purple, blue, and my final one will be gray. If I stack these down on one side of a little pan in the order that they go, get that there, in the order that they go, and I just set them on my bedways, and we'll have at her. This doesn't take very long. You don't have to work at this. How many other guys do it this way?
What is going to be the speed when you're sanding?
I don't ever change speeds. I have gets done at 1850. When I'm making pens, am I still there?
Yeah,
we got you.
Yes.
You roboted a little bit, but you're all right.
All right. So I'm going to start out with 1,500. I soaked it in my pan of water. Make sure I got plenty of water on here. Because this is already at 600, there shouldn't be hardly any scratches in it. And I just go around it a few times. You can see that it's taking some off. That's all you got to do. I rinse my 1,500 off, throw it back in the pan. I wipe that back down with some paper towel. And I'll go to the next one, which is 1,800. And as you get up in the grits, you don't see as much on the paper itself or on the micro mesh. Micro mesh can be washed in Dawn soap and water too, so you don't ruin them. And I cut the pads into 1-inch strips so that you don't need that whole pad that they come in. So the next one is 2400. You got to keep it moving because you can burn the micro mesh and then it sticks to your resin and then you got a mess if you can get it off. Ask me how I know. So now you can see I'm not getting much on the pad anymore. I'll give it one more wipe and now I'm just going to go fast through the grits. This will be 3200. It goes up in about till you get to 6,000. It goes up in 400 gram increments or 400 grit increments. And I try to stay off the metal as best I can. Usually let my finger rub on the metal and then I know that I'm on the metal. So you can see that there's nothing on that one either. You can see the shine coming up already, just in the ones I've done. And there's nothing on that one at all. It's purely polishing now. You don't have to spend a lot of time at this if you're good with the tool, have your good cuts with the tool and you get it sanded to 600. There's not much time on the micro meshes. You should be able to do this pretty fast. Now I'm up to 8,000 already. I got one step after this one for the micro meshes. And then I got my next little trick that I do. LED lights work nice. It helps you see the scratches. You probably can't see them on the camera because it kind of glares it out, but I can see them on this end. That was 12,000. I'm going to shut it off so I don't put any scratches in with the paper towel. And you can see the shine that's on there already. Let me turn this light off. Maybe you can see the shine that's in that already. You can leave it there if you want. I do one more step. Let's see if I can get this to focus on this bottle. So this is McGuire's car polish 105. And it's a very fine, super fine car polish. Shake the bottle up.
Now he's going to
go ahead, Eddie.
Look at that reflection. He's going to polish that.
Yeah, you could leave it at that if you wanted to, but I like to polish it.
I can read the name on the end of the light bulb.
So a little bit of this car polish goes a super long ways. And I take my Bounty paper towel, which is the best polishing paper towel I've ever found. And I fold it into, I started out as a full-size sheet and I got it folded into quite a few. I've made a buffing pad now. That's about all you need for doing the pen. I'll put it on by hand. Dulls it up. Turn the lathe back on. in the same spot that the compound is on the paper. Now I'm just gonna put pressure on the paper, and you'll see the shine come up on the, if I get my hands out of the way, you're gonna see the shine come up on that without even doing any more. If you get it on the bushings, it'll put black spots on there. If you got a white pen, be careful. Sometimes it'll ingrain it in your pen. If you get too much heat in it, it'll suck that up in there. There you go. Can't ask for much more of a shine than that. I don't know how good you can see that, but it's really shiny. So now,
Great, Scott.
because this pen's gonna go into a shop when I'm done, I have a lady that sells my pens, and people like to touch them. Yeah, they all got to pick them up and look at them, you know. You take a little bit of carnauba wax. It's just carnauba polish wax. It has no cleaning agents in it. It's just a clear wax made for woodworking. I can't even tell you where I bought it. And it's so warm in my shop, it's actually liquefying.
You moved your camera.
Okay, all I'm doing is
There you go.
rubbing it on. I'm gonna rub it on, let it sit for a couple seconds, turn my lathe on. And buff it off. That's what I do to them if they're going into a shop and somebody's going to play with them. If I'm selling them direct to a customer and they're not going to get played with too much, I don't always put the wax on. I just put the wax on. It just kind of protects them from oils on your hands, because they will. Some pens will darken over time from the oils in your skin, because there's really no finish on it. It's just a piece of plastic, essentially. Any questions while I'm messing around here?
Scott, what towel did you say you used?
What was that?
What towel
Ask the question
did you
again.
say you used?
I use
Bounty.
Bounty paper towel. I don't know how they make it, but it really works great as a buffer. I have some friends that work in the automotive industry. They actually put it on their buffing wheels and use it on their buffers on a car in the early stages of buffing paint, because it cuts. It's got the way the fibers are made, it actually cuts. I like it. I use tons of it. I should buy stock. My wife says I should. What was that?
I think it's the similarity of the name, how it's spelled.
Scott, you're frozen.
Yeah, it's my internet is cutting in and out. It's probably the storm that's going by.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Scott, I did the same thing with micro mesh.
Yep.
I numbered with a one of those non Sharpies.
Yeah.
I numbered 1 through 9, so I don't have to look at the little chart all the time. I go 1, 2, 3. So yeah.
Well, I have mine on a little magnet, so it just sticks on the headstock of my lathe, and I just look over and look at the color.
Okay.
But when I'm turning a lot of pens, I have it memorized, Sue, so I don't even have to look at it anymore.
Oh, that's good. And I have mine stacked too, as I'm in order, so that I can just grab the next one.
So here it is with an end on it, and you can see by rolling that corner how nice the edge that gives you on the tube itself, or on the kit itself.
Oh, beautiful.
Very nice.
Before the night's over, we'll assemble this one just to see.
That's
You want to
really
see me
nice
do
stuff.
do you want to see me do the resin one that looks more waxy to see how it looks when it's done? Or do you want me to turn a wooden one?
Let's do the shell casing.
Okay. So I'm going to do the shell casing next. So now I got to switch things over because now I'm going to switch to a mandrel. This is the only time I use a mandrel.
First step, take the powder out.
First step, knock primer out. So you got to know
Yes.
somebody that you either got to buy once fired cases, or you have to find somebody that reloads rifle shells like myself. And I happen to load 308 and 30-06, so you can use 308 or 30-06 cases. 30-06 are a little tougher because you got to drive the pen mechanism into the case a little ways. They can be a little more problematic because your pen insert, the actual pen part, isn't long enough to the length of the case. So there's my drive center that I was just using.
Yep.
It's a 60-degree drive center. Somebody could put it, I got this off of Amazon. If somebody wants to put a link, to go ahead. I think I paid like $10 for it, maybe.
Yep, that's the price.
So now, when I do these cases, I am going to switch to a mandrel saver, and I'll slide this ahead so you can see it. This is my mandrel saver. It saves a lot on your mandrels. It takes the pressure off the mandrel. Takes the side pressure, the end pressure off the mandrel. So now I'm going to put that in my headstock. I'll adjust my camera just a little. You guys can see it a little better right there. Now I'm going to push this up. On this end, I have a bushing that I've made out of one I've damaged that is exactly the same size as the butt end of that shell casing. You can put the shell casing on the lathe if you want to and use that as your guide, but if you hit it with your tool, you're going to peel the brass and it's going to look funny. So I just made my own bushing out of another bushing, and I used one of my old carbide tools to make the bushing. Now, hopefully this doesn't blow up, because I'm not sure. It says spalted, so I have no idea what this is. Spin it by hand. I'm going to turn my light back on so I can see my bushing. I'm still going to use the same carbide tools as I used before. I'm going to make sure I'm on center with the tool. Don't have quite enough pressure. Can you hear that sound? Can you hear that hum?
No, it's muffled.
Muffled?
Muffling it.
Okay, it sounds like a hum, like a motor hum. That's when you know you got enough pressure on the mandrel. So you're pushing on the blank rather than on the mandrel. You're pushing this way towards the headstock with your tailstock. Gonna give it just a little more. And I do get nice curly shavings. A little bit, let's see. There. I do get curly shavings. I don't know if you can see that when I'm turning, but I am getting curly shavings. And on the square cutter, I use the outside corners to rough with. And then I'll come back and use the center of the cutter to do the actual smoothing. So you can see you can use that like a parting tool too, or a skew. You can use the tool like a skew. So on this end, I got to cut it down to a 7mm bushing. On this end, I'm not sure what it is. It's like 3/8 of an inch. So I'm just tapering this now to make my taper. See how smooth I got it. Oh, not too bad for whatever it is. Got a lot of cracks in it. So I got a lot of cracks in it. I'm going to stop there. I have some black CA glue. Find my activator. So I have some black Starbond, and I'm going to fill these cracks in with that Starbond. This has got, I don't know, it's like it's a burl, and it's got all kinds of cracks in it. I'm kind of surprised it didn't explode, actually.
We're glad it didn't.
Yeah, me too. They didn't make up an extra one of these.
You're about out of face shields too, aren't you?
Yes, I'm out of face shields too. They'll be here on Saturday though. Now I got
Did he freeze out or did I freeze out? Okay, there it is.
Hey, Scott, you
I
need
think
to
I'm
shoot
still
your
on,
wife
Dana.
Scott, shoot your wife a message and tell her to get offline.
She's actually not home.
Oh, okay.
She's actually, my wife teaches card classes. So she makes greeting cards. So Wednesday is her greeting card class day. So this works out great for being on here. We're usually not on at the same time. And because I have this down so far and seen the cracks so close to the end, I'm just gonna sand them smooth, which normally I wouldn't do. But I'm almost down to the bushing on this end. And same thing on this end. So there, now it's ready for, I'll do my CA, I'll show you how I do my CA finish. It's ready there. I will just touch it with some with some 220 and a little 320, which I have some off to the side here ready. Just to make sure I ain't got any big scratches in it. I don't know what this is, but it sure smells good. That was 220. I'll just touch it a little with a little 320. Pretty good. And we need a clean piece of paper towel. I'm going to wipe this down with a little denatured alcohol. And I'm going to come back with a little 400 to knock the grain down, because denatured alcohol will raise the grain slightly. Okay, now I'm going to do my CA finish. I'm going to put some rubber gloves on. Make sure I grab the 2 bottles I need. So when I do CA finish, I start out with thin. Put a coat of thin on first. Then I'll put coats of medium on until I get to wherever I want it to be. Whatever sheen I want it to be. Final sheen. So I'm just folding up some more of that paper towel again to make a buffing pad. And then I'm going to use my curing agent rather than using the spray cure. I'm going to use boiled linseed oil as my curing agent for the CA glue. Now it's really warm in my shop right now. Normally I wouldn't be doing these at 70 degrees. Just because I don't like the smell of the CA glue that much. It shears off fast. So the first coat of the thin I put on by hand, spin the lathe by hand, keep the paper towel moving so it don't stick. There's your first coat. And that's dry. That flashed over already. So now I'm gonna put the cap back on my, and you can see there's a shine on there already just from the thin. Now I'm gonna I cut my paper towel off. I'm gonna start with a fresh edge. Couple drops, put it on. That's the medium. Now, right where I just put that drop of CA on this piece of paper towel, I'm going to put the boiled linseed oil on, right in the same spot. And now I'm going to polish. And I polish till it burns the inside of my nose or makes my eyes water. Then I know the glue is flashed over. Normally I'd wear a mask, but you wouldn't be able to hear me. And I polish this till I feel the heat in my finger. When you feel the heat in your finger, you can stop. You can see in that piece of paper towel, there's a coating of plastic in that paper towel already. It's hard. It won't, it comes right back to its shape. Okay. Thought there was a spot on my camera. It's my black mouse showing up on my screen on my TV. Thought I put a piece of black CA glue on my camera screen. Tricked myself. So now I put the first 2 coats on without it spinning. Now I'm going to put this next coat on with it spinning. Put the linseed oil back on again. My flash over. And because it's so warm in my shop right now, this is flashing really fast. I'm going to keep going until my finger gets warm. Don't stop this paper, whatever you do. You stop the paper, it's stuck to the blank. And you'll get your sandpaper out and start over. But now it's hard again. I'll cut it off. And I keep track of these. I got a little bin on the side of my lathe where I keep some sandpaper and some other tools. And I cut them off and put them in there so I know how many coats I've put on. I'm gonna do the same procedure again. It's burning my nose. There we go. There's the shine. So now I'll come back, put the cap back on my stuff so I don't spill CA glue all over or linseed oil. How am I doing on time, Dane?
No, you're fine.
Okay. Now I don't micro mesh this. I go right straight to the car polish. I skip the micro mesh when I'm doing wood. Put that on, smear it in, make a mess. Looks like I had a little void in there. You can see I didn't quite get all the voids filled in right there. Well, if I can find my little brush again. Got another one in the drawer.
Watch how easy it is to put on your hands-free Skechers slip-ins. I just step.
So That's the top, and I'll leave that void in there. I kind of like it that way. Personal preference. And that's all I do to the wood tops. So now that'll fit the bottom of that shell casing. I'm going to take this off. Now there's a good chance that that bushing on that end is stuck on there. Just take it out to the end and just give it a little pop. It should come off. Dropped one under the lathe. I don't want to lose that. So now this part is essentially done. And look at the shine on that with just a few coats of CA glue and a little car polish. So if you're using Parfex, just to really make your Parfex shine, I'd use this car polish on it. It's probably going to heighten the gloss by 20-30% at least. I would think maybe even as much as 50%, just over leaving it by itself. But that's up to you guys.
Very nice.
Got.
So now we'll talk about how we make the shell casings, because there's a little trick to that too. So these shell casings, this one already has a tube glued in it. So you take a 7mm. If you want to do it in a drill press, you got to have a machinist vise in order to do that, which looks like.
I missed all of that.
Okay.
Froze
So
up.
if you want to drill this, Brenda, you have to do it either grab it with your spigot jaws and put a juck on your lathe and put spigot jaws in it, and grab it as close to the end as you can, close to this end.
Okay.
Drill that hole for your 7mm tube. Okay.
Okay.
If you want to drill it on a drill press, you have to have one of these.
Hold it up higher.
On the bed waist. I'm going to set it right there. So this is a machinist vise. It has V grooves cut in it and a locking bar that goes on either side. So your shell casings are tapered. So you have to grab them as close as you can to the end that you're going to drill. So this end that you're going to drill, you have to grab it within the first 1/4 inch, because that's the thickest part of the case and you won't crush it. And it's also the straightest part of the case. You can see on that case, the shine where it switches from, there's a little ring right here. Let me get these gloves off and I can show you a little better. Maybe. Give it a little something for a little pointer. So when you resize these cases, they don't resize all the way to the bottom. This part of the case is hollow from right there to the back, from right for the tip of this tool to the back to the butt end. This is hard doing this backwards.
Looks like
This
there's a little
end,
ridge.
Yep, there's a little ridge right here. This is solid. This is what you're drilling to get your tube in. Okay. Now you have to take some form of epoxy. You could wrap tape around it. You could use regular 1-minute epoxy. I used JB Weld on here because this case, the inside of that hole isn't 7mm. It's a little bigger. It's 20 thousandths bigger to be exact. So this flops around in here. So what I do to fix that problem is I put this on the lathe with some. So I let the epoxy harden. Put this on the lathe. And I just capture it between some bushings. Put this all back together again on the mandrel.
Can you move your camera up a little bit?
Sure. Can you see? This is what we're looking at right here. Okay. So we're going to turn that to fit in that hole so it's perfectly round. Or you
Scott,
could sand it.
Scott, rotate your
Go ahead,
camera up
Dane.
just rotate your camera up just a hair. We've barely got it. There you go.
Okay.
Better.
Good. Okay, now you can either sand this or you can turn this. I'm going to try turning it just because I'm brave today. So you have a 7mm bushing right here that you can use as a guide. So you want to be a little bigger than that 7mm bushing. And you got to get enough pressure on it to hold it, because you're only catching just the edge of that tube. This can be kind of a pain. I've wrapped tape around it. Tape works too, but this is a little easier.
Turning.
So JB Weld machines real well. It stinks. It smells horrible, but it does machine pretty well. So now this is just a matter of trial and error. You just got to keep, unless you want to build a bushing, which I haven't done yet. I just lost the bushing, dropped it. So now I just keep machining this till that would fit inside of there. Okay. I won't go through all those steps. I'll go through and show you what I do to the casing now that it's already to that point. We're going to pretend that I got that in there, that I've glued that tube in there. Take that off. Now I'm going to put this on here. Now you can see that it's not wobbling around. Appears to be fairly straight. I'll put this all back together again. Now this is preference. Some people like them shiny. Some people like them antique looking, which is just the oil off your fingers. Can do that on the shell casings. If you want to polish them, I'll show you how to polish them.
I got a question real quick, Scott.
Go ahead.
How far down does that JB Weld go down in that bullet casing?
It's going to go down the length of this neck.
Okay.
Okay. That's
Okay.
all the farther it goes, because that case is hollow inside, and you're just trying to get it so that it fits into this neck. So you only need about 1/4 inch of material. If you have more than that, that's fine, because this part of the neck is bigger.
Gotcha.
Don't worry about the first 1/4 inch. Okay. So if I set this up here, you can see how much you got to worry about.
Gotcha.
Okay. So now I have a piece of 3000 grit wet dry sandpaper. I'm just going to dip this in the water so it's water polishing. I'm just going to polish this case. Don't use this sandpaper for anything else after you polish metal with it. You'll get black streaks in whatever you're dealing with. So now you got a polished case. Now, if you want to keep it shiny, you can put CA glue on it, or you can wax it, and then eventually it'll just tarnish again from the oils on your hands. It'll stay shiny for quite a while. I don't like them shiny. I like them to look like they do when you buy them in the store. This is the way they look. I mean, they're not shiny normally. You can buy, if I can find them, in my mess. And you can buy these online at any online sporting goods store that handles reloading equipment. You can also buy them in chrome. And then you don't have to do any polishing. They already come chrome plated or nickel plated. Some companies use nickel, some companies use chrome. So it's the same brass shell. It works like brass, it's just got a chrome finish on it. So now I'll assemble this one. And you guys can have a couple choices. I get this off of here. And I'm bound and determined to lose that bushing.
Now that 7mm tube goes from one end to the other, right?
Yep. So yep. So a standard slimline pen
cord.
blank. Yep. I felt it. A standard slimline pen kit works in these shell casings. Okay. That's what I use as a standard slimline 2-piece pen kit.
Okay.
Knock this out of the way so we can see. I don't have to move the camera. So now, if you look in my little fancy box, you can buy them in copper. You can get them in copper, or you can get them in black. Now, some rifle bullets come coated black. I like the black look. So if you want to do copper or black, just let me know which one you want to do. Which would you like to see, copper or black?
Black.
Okay.
Black.
Okay, so now I'm just going to take this
Black.
tube. You're getting black. So now I'm going to swing you over here. This is my homemade pen press that I've made myself. I've made probably 10 or 15 of these. So now you're just going to press this in here, just like you would build a regular pen. A little spacer block in here so it bottoms out. There you go. Now the bottom's done for that part. Now you're going to take your transmission. I always make sure that the transmission's screwed all the way closed. Otherwise, you can wreck these transmissions when you press them together. That one's locked. That one you can see is screwed down. Can you see that? See how it's screwed down inside there?
Yep.
So that transmission is considered open. So the nib would be sticking, the pen point would be sticking through the nib. You want to press these in when it's closed like that. That keeps you from crushing the transmission when you put it in the pen press. Ask me how I know. Too many things in my way here. Before I spill this, slide this out of my way. My pen press, you notice the handle comes off, so it can be stored in a toolbox. Now you're just going to press this in here, and sometimes they go in really hard. Like this one.
And then they slip and go way too far in.
Nope, they break like this one just did.
Oh no.
Not a big deal. I've taken these apart so many times. And the nice part about this one is it didn't get in all the way. So now that one broke off where I can't get it out. I'm just going to take a drill bit and drill it out at some point, but I'll make one of these other ones that isn't polished. And so I like the unpolished ones. This one has a little bit of shine on the end because it was, when I ran it through the dye, it got a little shiny. That one's together. Yeah, see if we have any luck on this one. Biggest thing is getting them to push straight. That's what keeps you from bending them. That one's gonna go in.
Yeah.
So there's a line on that transmission. And you go just to the end of the line. And it just so happens I have a pen kit out here. And there you go. It's all put together. What did I do with the top now? So the top end, you can do whatever you want. I have chrome ones, I have black ones. I'm just gonna make this one chrome to match the black to match the bottom. And I gotta get a little more spacer. So everybody's got scraps of wood laying around for a spacer. Get it to screw out here. There you go. Finished rifle shell pen.
Wow.
Good job, Scott.
Absolutely great. Nice. Scott.
Very cool.
They look really good with antler too.
Yes, I do make some with antler on the end too. So I'll just finish this other one for you quick while we're talking. So this is a Sierra kit. The only piece you have to press on the Sierra kit is the top section. I'm turning you back around over here. Find my rest of my components. So this is a Sierra pen kit. Comes with a transmission and this and a spring. Don't lose the spring, because they never put the spring in a little bag. Adapter in there. Screw this together. Make sure it's good and tight. Push your end on. Now you have a completed. So all I did was screw that transmission in there. Screwed this in to the bottom section. You push the top on, and now you have a Sierra pen. Now,
Good.
when you sell these, if you buy good Sierra pens, you notice there's a little wax ball on the end. Remind the customer to pull that off, or they'll be calling you on the phone saying my pen don't work. And all it is they didn't take the little rubber protective ball off. These are roller balls, and they're gel pens.
Yeah.
So in order to keep them from drying out till you sell them, you got to leave that little rubber ball on there.
Yes, which means they cannot test the pen beforehand.
So the store that I sell in, the lady is nice enough that she actually bought a pen from me, and she leaves it sitting by the display for the people to try how it writes.
Yeah.
And then once a month, I send her a new ink cartridge because that's cheap advertisement.
Great.
And I get for a pen like this, I get between $40 and $60 depending on which community I got the sale in.
Fantastic.
In the Minocqua area up north where it's very touristy here in Wisconsin, these go for $60.
Wow.
That's triple what I got in the. That's
the
triple
Sierra
what I got in it. What was that, Sue?
So is that the elegant Sierra?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And this is chrome, satin chrome. They make it this way, and then they make it just the opposite, where this is chrome and this is satin.
I like the way that is. That's really nice.
And they also make an end. Questions?
All made sense to me.
Okay.
Good variable demonstration tonight. I really appreciate it.
One more thing I want to show, Eddie. So when you get these pens and you trim the barrels, sometimes it leaves a burr inside that barrel. You can buy a tool like this that's a deburring tool. You stick it in here, go around a couple times, and you can see how shiny that is.
Yeah.
And get it to there and get it to focus. See how the shine, it took that burr off of there. That'll help you also in your assembly process on 7mm pen kits, on slimline kits. You can get a nice chamfer in there. When you go to put the pens together, you'll have a lot less breakage.
Okay.
Just a little tip.
Is that tool very expensive?
You get a 3-pack. So there's one for doing brass, there's one for doing plastic, and there's one for doing steel. And I think they're like, don't quote me, but they're somewhere between 10 and $15 for 3 of them.
Okay.
And I've seen them at Lowe's, I've seen them at Home Depot.
Really?
If you have a Menards, they have them. I've seen them at Menards. And I think even our favorite place, Harbor Freight, carries them, I think.
That's where I got mine.
This one's made by General, so it's a pretty good one. I think I got these at Ace Hardware actually, because they're General. Ace Hardware here sells General tools, hand tools, and they're on a swivel, so they spin.
Okay.
Get it where you can see it. They do spin. But
Scott,
go ahead, Eddie.
Scott, that was a great demo. We got some folks waiting to show us gallery, and we got not to rush you off, but don't want to miss much tonight.
No, I didn't want to run this long, but apparently I had good stuff to show.
You did. You ran great.
Very nice.
Great demo.
Great demo,
Thank
Scott.
you very much, Scott.
Yes, Scott. Thank you.
I hope I answered Joaquin's question on what you can do with carbide negative rake, because he was asking, I don't know, a week or two ago. So hopefully he was watching so he could see what we did.
Yeah, if not, he'll watch it back.
Yeah, he's in a house right now, so we'll take some more gallery. Scott, thank you again very, very much. Folks, Scott is a member. We don't pay for demonstrations. our members come forward and give us our demonstrations. They show us what they can do. They show us what you can do. And we're glad to have you be part of this great routine. All you have to do is step up and say, I want to be in. That's it. Put it in a chat. I want to be there. And trust me, Dane's going to chase you down like you've never been chased before because we love everybody. Don't laugh, Brenda. We chased you down and caught you.
And if I can do it, anybody can do it.
That's right.
You did a great job.
He did a great job.
Right.
Yes.
right, well,
And he did it
let's,
on an iPhone. Didn't he do it on an iPhone? I mean, look at
I
that.
did it off.
Android.
I did it off a camera. I did it off a $40 camera that Kate Bolger uses in his demos. It's a Logitech $40 camera.
Oh, wow. It's even better, cheaper than a cell phone. All right, let's go to gallery. Dane, who we got up?
All right. Well, we got Mr. Duxbury.
Ooh, great. I had to unmute myself.
We got you.
My wife's been turning some gnomes. She's just having fun with them. But
That's cute.
Those are cute.
Those are one piece, just busting around.
Nice.
I've been turning. This is a vase.
Oh my God.
This is one piece of wood. This is one piece of wood, a flat piece, about 7 inches wide, an inch thick. That's wrong with that camera.
Mm-hmm.
And
nice.
You bandsaw back and forth, and when you get all done, it'll open up. And it's a plastic cup with a masonite ring that goes down the middle of it, and it'll snap into place there. So you've got a planter. And
that's too cool.
You can make these things 5 feet high. You know, it all takes is a longer board, and you bandsaw back and forth till you're cross-eyed. And about your time you're cross-eyed, you're half done. But anyway, it's airbrushed. A lot of fun.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
And then I got one more on, I have to do a screen share here, which I can do. This is a triangular box or a bowl. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. This is about 6 inches in diameter. It's 8 triangles. I couldn't get a good picture of this, so I just took a bunch of them. But all the sides are triangular, the bottom's triangular.
Beautiful.
Is it a regular tetrahedron or octahedron?
No. The top and the bottom are equilateral triangles. The sides are not.
Oh, I got you. Okay, interesting. Okay.
Jim, did that start out as a cube?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, this is Beanie, our bird. It's her birthday today. She's 16, and
Aw.
she thinks she's hiding. She loves to turn wood. Anyway, that's the end of it.
Very good.
That's the end of me.
All right. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to Gary Obenhausen. Gary, you out there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm unmuted. That vase is beautiful, Jim.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
There you go. You got me. Oh, you had me.
We got you.
I see you.
I don't see. Oh, there I am. Okay. Okay. This is a piece of wood. That's about all I can tell you about it. We have no idea what it is. It was a fogwood, and I just picked it up and turned it, and it got all these nice little wormholes in it. And it looks dark enough to be like walnut, but of course it's not walnut at all. And it's about 6 inches wide, 3 inches high. And
Like that shape.
Yeah, I just put some
Nice.
sanding sealer on it, and then put some friction polish on it. And it was just playing around, just something to do. But I loved the wormholes. When I went to put it on a vacuum chuck so I could take my foot off, or the tenon off, I couldn't get any suction on the vacuum chuck at all. I just happened to stick my hand over that hole, and I had plenty of vacuum. So ended up putting some tape over that. Could have done it on the inside, but I didn't think of that at the time. Just put it over that one on the outside. But fun little bold turn, and I love the wormholes. I just love that. To me, they add all kinds of character.
Yes.
See,
That is beautiful.
That was a little one. This is cottonwood, and I turned a bigger bowl out of this same piece of wood, and it had the 4 quadrants in it, really defined. This one's not too bad on having 4 quadrants in the inside. The back of it had a little bit of splits, a little bit of cracks, but they came out all right. Just put some sanding sealer on it, and then put some armor seal on it, and polish that all up. Nothing fancy, just nice little bowls. We're giving them to the Empty Bowl charity club, and so anyhow, that one is about 4 inches thick and probably 8 inches across. That's about it. That's it. Just making some bowls.
Right on.
Nice.
Thank you, Gary. All right, let's see who's up next. Randy is. Hey, Randy.
Yep.
We got you.
I have officially gone over to the dark side.
Uh-oh.
Last night, our local wood turning club had a hands-on event, and I make mostly pens. So last night,
All right.
Oh, very nice. Of walnut. It is still unfinished, but I got a nice even curve on the inside.
Nice.
The outside still needs a little work, and there's a crack that I have to seal up right about here that I have to seal up with CA. I haven't finished it yet, and I want to make it a little thinner, but I got some good instructions at our hands-on wood turning club. So
nice.
I have gone over to the dark side.
It's looking really good, Randy.
And for the joke of the evening, let's see if I can get this to do this. Can you see the? Can you see that in the right order?
Oh my goodness.
That was good.
Oh goodness. Nice.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it.
Nice first bowl.
All right, Chris, you're up.
You're muted, Chris.
Can't
Chris,
hear
unmute
you.
yourself, sir.
Or maybe he doesn't have the right mic selected. We can't hear you. Yep.
Just mumble with something, Jim.
Says you're
Chris?
muted, Chris.
Press your space bar.
Said he was muted before, or not muted before, but we still couldn't hear him.
Try again.
You're not muted, but we can't hear you.
Well, let's come back to you, Chris. Check your connection, make sure it's connected. All right, let's see. Heather, you still out there? Or did you go back to work?
Heather
Went back.
Heather probably had to go back to see a patient. All right, wait.
This one
Chris
working now?
changed.
Oh yeah, we can hear you.
We hear you
All
now.
right. You got two cameras that are identical. They're trying to fight each other, I guess. So I've been doing a little casting, and we turned this one here, which is
nice.
That's pretty.
With Illuminate different dyes. And Billy, I took your advice. I made the foot a lot smaller.
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brenda, what do you
Gorgeous.
see in that?
Seen a bear.
I see a lot of money.
I see a
This
little bear. Yeah.
This was a piece of that wood that was in there. And it's basically a piece of beech that got thrown out of my log splitter. And I looked at it and the grain was so curly and compressed, it had to go into something.
I don't blame you.
That worked out
Nice.
well. Turn the pens. I gotta turn this light off here. I made this one here, which is the lighthouse pen
That's pretty.
with a, it's an ash pearl. And you could turn the little light on and.
Really?
Now I live right here on the side of Long Island Sound facing the Atlantic Ocean. Around here, lighthouses are really popular,
I'll bet.
but the kit's also rather expensive.
Wow.
And with a little leftover casting, get some more pen blanks to cut up out of this piece here.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
Ooh.
That, oh, one thing. When you mix up your resin and you think you've made enough and you haven't, and then you forget to open the ball cock on your compressor to your pressure port. So we'll be cutting this off.
Oh.
you coming back to SWAT this year, Chris?
I wish I could, Billy. My partner at work, his daughter's getting married that same weekend, and unless she calls it off, I gotta go to that.
Oh, bummer.
I'm hoping she calls it off.
Yeah.
So is her
All right.
father.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, thanks, Chris. All right, let's go to Birdhouse Bob.
Oh, how's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good.
Hey,
I got a
Bob.
couple things.
Finger
You know, a
licking
meeting
good,
wouldn't be a
Bob.
meeting without a birdhouse. So
Pretty.
Yeah.
All right.
that was made out
Nice.
of
Oh, nice.
Like it.
it's a gray and brown spectra ply. And I think that's cherry. And then the walnut finial and the perch.
Very nice.
And I've got a piece of ambrosia maple bowl I did.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Oh,
What do you see in that, Brenda?
there's a dolphin.
Horse.
There's a tree.
Yeah, it was Lucy's footprint.
Yeah, that's
There's
what it
a,
looks
there's a
like.
TIE
Crabs
fighter right
in-
there
got
from
some
Star
crabs
Wars.
in there.
That's right.
A lot of different things in there. There's a bird up there. Dolphin.
Awesome.
And I want
Yeah.
to show you a jig that I made for a cutting round stock. And it's just a couple pieces of plywood with a piece of 3x3 pine cut with a 45-degree angle.
Mhm.
And then you lay your stock right in here. And you don't have to, and you can hold it down a lot easier. And you don't have to worry about it rolling on you.
Yeah. You'd use that.
It's a lot safer than just trying to hold it.
I'll be using that to cut off the top of that casting.
Yes.
Have
And
you got a
That's
a
what I
track
got.
on it? Bob, have you got it
Thank you, Bob.
to go into the miter slot? Or is it freehand?
Well, I couldn't hear you.
Okay, on your sled,
Uh-huh.
you have miter track underneath it to fit in your miter block on your miter slot?
No, because this way, sometimes what I'll do is I'll cut a piece of wood that's got a bend in it. And I like to make a bowl out of that. And I can cut any kind of angle I want to.
Gotcha.
But you
Okay.
could put a track on it if you wanted to. And
Okay,
you don't, but you'd be limited to just cutting one way.
gotcha.
This way you could cut like this or like that.
Okay.
That way
Great
you
And
idea.
I
can do
didn't
weight
bother, when I
rolls.
cut this is just a piece of pine. I didn't sand it or anything. I left it rough. So you have a little more friction, for holding your log with.
Right.
I wish you'd all seen that before I lost my fingerprints. People think I joined the WITSEC.
That's
All
right.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Great
Thanks,
seeing you.
Bob.
Okay,
Bird
let's go to
house.
Doug.
Bob.
Doug,
Hey, Doug.
Doug,
we got you.
hello? Somebody wake
We're
up,
plowing
Doug.
through
There
gallery.
we
Pay attention,
Plowing
Doug.
through gallery, folks.
Hey, so, okay. Red cedar, all one piece again.
Oh, my.
Considerably smaller than the last one that I made, because when I started off, the log had a big curve in it. So by the time I turned it into a cylinder, it was pretty small.
Oh, that looks good.
Beautiful.
Portions are good on that one.
I still need to take the tenon off, but if you saw me making the bowl on Facebook Live yesterday.
Dang.
Oh, very nice.
It's a lot bigger than I thought it was. Wow.
How about this one? There we go.
Yeah.
Be a hat.
Oh, my God.
Careful.
How about this one? That looks
There
good.
you go. That shows off your curls.
And then the weather was nice. So I opened up the garage door and I did another bowling ball.
That's cool.
Beautiful. Oh, my goodness.
I
got a
think
hole
you
in
got a
the
little
bottom.
thin there, buddy.
Wound up making a funnel out of it, so I fixed it with resin, of course.
Oh.
But this was by far my wife's favorite, so she says I'm not allowed to sell this one. She's keeping this one.
Yeah, that one's pretty, Doug.
The
Finally got a
green
young
on the
one.
bottom. That's my favorite part right there, the way that green came through.
Yes.
And then it's not Christmas time, but I just made me a little bill.
Cute.
Cute.
And yeah, that's about it for tonight.
Thank you, Doug.
Right
Great
on. Thanks,
seeing
Doug.
you, sir.
Good seeing you all
Now,
again.
look, his
Sorry I missed
hair's
last time.
messed up.
No, that's not messed up. That's stylish. Or like this. Now I'm Albert Einstein. See, not intelligent wise, just hair.
All right.
Then we
Well, I
take it back to
think
the
he-
80s.
Oh, my
I think
goodness.
he wears
All right,
it in a man bun when not around.
Never.
To
a man
Roger. Roger.
Oh.
Hello?
Hello, we got you.
All right. I turned a walnut bowl again, and it has some bark inclusion where I
Nice.
had a branch go through it.
Uh-huh.
And
Dolphin.
unfortunately, I didn't get the inside turned before the tenon broke.
Oh.
So I need to fix some way, put a tenon on this end where I can hold it to where I can finish turning the inside.
Glue block.
That's what I figure, a glue block, but
Use hot
it's
glue.
also cracked right here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not perfectly round anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know whether
With
just
this,
forget about it and leave it as it is.
That's what I was thinking.
Slacker stack. Slacker stack.
I think you ought to rise to the challenge.
You put it on the slacker stack.
Okay,
no,
Let's see the
no,
bottom
don't
again.
give up on it.
what's that?
Do not give up on it.
Let's see the bottom again.
That looks like a
It looks like a steer.
that's
Yeah.
it. That's the word.
I think you could probably put a round piece of wood in a headstock and
Yeah.
and mess around until you found the exact center by spinning it, and then say put a paper towel or something over that round piece of wood, and when you're finally happy with the center, you'll at least have the center marked, and you could put a glue block on it from there.
Okay.
I'd go for that, but
There's not much of a dent here, so that's not a problem. I can put it in my jaws this way onto the lathe and flatten this, and then just glue a piece on. But I'm worried about losing this bark here.
Have you got a large set of cold jaws?
That I can grab here, yes.
Well, that would help you get the center on the back side.
Yeah.
When you get it centered with the cold jaw, that can, by bringing up your tailstock, that'll give you the center on the back side, which would help.
Okay.
But I would still think about going with a glue block.
Yeah, that's not a problem. I can do that, so. But I had no thoughts when I started turning this that it had any bark inclusions at all anywhere.
Roger, can you hear me?
Gotcha.
So,
Oh, man.
Talk.
Hey,
I think you
Roger.
should go on,
Here.
Roger.
what's that?
I think you should move forward with that and try to do something out of with it.
I'll try it.
Roger,
Yeah,
you can hang on to it with your cold jaws like you're talking about.
yeah.
And instead of just gluing wood to wood, so you don't want to lose that bark inclusion, you could use brown paper bag between the wood and your glue block,
Yeah.
and that will separate easily enough. You should be able to just sand that off and leave that when you turn it back around after you do whatever you need to do on the inside. Put it
Okay.
back in your cold jaws, separate that paper between the glue block and your bowl, and then sand the bottom however you want, and you're not going to lose that bark inclusion.
Okay. I just thought it looked good the way the bark inclusion was inside.
It does.
It does. It looks great.
Yep,
So,
I love it.
I like it the way it is.
Me too.
Yeah, very nice.
my wife likes it the way it is, but
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. That's the deciding factor right there.
all right.
All right. Thanks, Roger.
Thanks.
Hey, Joaquin.
Oh, hey, yeah. But I intended to have some gnomes and had buddies over the last couple of days. We've been turning on some burls, but didn't finish any. So I had this piece of Spanish oak. I turned it back an eighth of an inch thick, thinking it wouldn't move, but it has moved on me pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You can see how it's pivoting up like a
Yeah.
coin.
A little bit of movement.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it when it does that myself.
And there's no finish on it. I was gonna wait and let it dry out. It sure is. Color's not coming out on my TV.
Must be the week for bowls.
Yeah. But
Seeing
anyway,
a lot of bowls today.
that's all I got done, but we did a lot of playing the last couple of days with some buddies.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Thanks.
Yeah. Very nice, Joaquin. Hey, Bill.
Yes, good evening, all. Gary was showing a wormy bowl, and I was so happy to see somebody else who likes wormy wood, because I have this piece of ash, and I think probably many of you know that the emerald ash borer is doing a number on ash trees. So this little piece of ash is very wormy.
Yes.
So this is maybe 8 inches high by 2.5 inches in diameter. Inside, little crack in the bottom here but there's so many other marks on it that it doesn't make any difference. But after I had it turned, I decided I was going to leave all these wormy tracks in it, but they didn't show up very well. So I painted them black so that you can't miss them.
Ah,
and
nice.
then finished it with wipe on poly.
Very nice.
Good.
Good idea.
Good job.
That's nice.
All right. Let's go to Billy. Billy, you're up. And then if Billy finishes before I get back, I will be right back. It's shot time. So.
All right, we got you. Go ahead, Billy. You had
I had something keep me from turning this week. I had to get my wife's birthday present finished. Her birthday is March 17th. So I did my first ever intarsia piece.
Wow.
Very nice.
The only wood on there that's not naturally colored is the black. I didn't have any African blackwood or ebony. All of these greens, there's like 5 different colors of greens. That's all green poplar taken out of a piano that was built in 1936.
Oh,
The bow tie is Sipo, otherwise known as African mahogany sometimes. The red in the eyes is bloodwood, and man, that stuff is hard. But anyway, that's just little St. Patrick's Day frog, and she absolutely loves it.
gorgeous.
That's beautiful.
Very nice.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Yes.
beautiful work.
I didn't get
Billy.
my gnome done.
All right, we
but I
got
will.
time. We'll wait for you.
Don't worry.
No worries. There's
Very
always
nice,
next
Billy.
week.
Yeah, I said no worries.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay,
And,
it's a little bit after 9
Marty.
o'clock PM Central Time. And we normally
You
halt
highlight-
the regular meeting
Go to Bob.
about
Grinstead-
this time.
Go to Bob
Wait,
Grinstead.
okay,
He's
well,
got- he's
we,
got a tip.
okay, Bob who?
Grinstead.
Bob, talk. Speak, Bob.
Yeah, here I am. Hello, testing.
Okay.
Yeah, you got me. All right, we were talking last week or in the chat, we had a little bit about sanding. And I was complaining about the Velcro getting hot and sanding off, melting down on me. And everybody said, slow the sander down. Well, I'd made these little things to go in my sander, a couple of months ago, and they helped. So now I have one for every grit. So I don't have to keep changing the sandpaper. Once I get one off, I can just change the whole thing out. It's a quick disconnect on it. So that helped. But then, my sander is one of these angle sanders. And, you have trouble getting it to go slow with that. When you squeeze it, it either usually goes to the highest speed. So I took some of the same stuff that I made the little sand deals out of. This was from the Dollar Tree, a kneeling mat. So I took some of that and cut it, put a little V in it, and now I can stick it in here and it slows me down. I have to really squeeze tight to get it to go fast. And I can vary that speed real easy now. So
That's a good idea.
yeah, so that was my tip.
Yeah, cool idea. I like
it really helps you vary the speed because it gives you a little pressure there to keep it from jumping around them. But anyway, that was my tip.
I think I may try that.
Yeah.
That was a cheap little Dollar Tree kneeling pad or something. It was $1 or $1.50 or something.
Good.
All right.
Anyway, that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Great seeing you again.
Yep.
All right, folks. I didn't want to cut Bob off, but that, we've learned a lot of things tonight. We've seen a dozen different tips and hints and ideas. You had a demonstration with a turner showing you different products, different techniques, different finishes. We've seen some fantastic gallery, a lot of gnomes. Don't forget, Easter eggs are up next. So get those Easter eggs going. Doug Miller, we'd like to see all 48 that you have done, okay? But we're not demanding, please. But we get together each Wednesday. This is a great meeting. I'll tell you what, I look forward to this time with my friends each week. We sit out on a tailgate. We show what we do. We share ideas, our tips, our tricks. We often lie, but that's what it's all about, folks. I thank you for joining us tonight. This will continue on because Trace will monitor the conversation just so we stay legal. And we'll be back here again next week. Hey, we had a lot of people bring their friends tonight. I'm asking you, bring another friend. Please bring another friend. We got plenty of room for everybody. I mean, that's a big tailgate out there. Otherwise, thank you and good night. Stick around if we just want to chat. Good night.
Good
night, Eddie.
Night, Eddie.
Good night,
Night, y'all.
Sorry for the chat.
Night, Eddie.
Yes.
Night, everybody.
Bob, I'm glad you're there, man.
Yes, I
Thank you,
about
Don.
forgot it too.
And that's why we have Australia backing us up. Okay.
Yeah. Everybody's got their job to do.
Right.
Happy birthday again, Brenda.
Thank you, Ben.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday,
you.
Brenda.
Thank you.
Hey, Brenda,
Yes.
I got one quick question for you, and you have to answer it fast without thinking too much.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Country, rock and roll, or opera?
Country or old time rock and roll?
No, you got to answer it quick. Country, rock and roll, or opera? Go.
Country.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh,
Happy birthday to you.
That sounds like Elvis.
Birthday, dear Brenda. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, my
All I gotta
God.
say is you asked for it. As soon as he stepped in, you asked for it.
I knew it wasn't gonna be good. But at least he kept his clothes on.
Great.
Hey, gang,
Thanks, Doug.
Hey,
I've
Doug.
got a question for those remaining. Apparently I've buggered the threads on my shaft on my lathe. So my
The spindle?
yeah, on my spindle, thank you. So my chucks don't like to go on or come off. What's the best way of cleaning that up? Tap and die?
Well, yeah, if you're able to get the proper
Recharge
dye
it.
for it.
Might have to replace the spindle, depending how bad it is.
Well, it's not visible, or obviously visible to me. I've tried to dress it up with a tri-corner file, just cleaning out the grooves, and it still is tight.
Could it be wood buildup or pitch buildup or dust buildup in your chuck threads?
I don't think so, Kate. I've tried to look down in there and I don't see anything.
Have you
I-
tried
I-
more than one chuck on it?
Yes, I have. Two separate chucks and they both get too tight at exactly the same spot.
Oh, I can't
Is
speak
your-
when I'm muted. Let me pitch in on this. They make something called Persian blue.
Yeah.
That you would rub on the threads of your chuck of the lathe.
Yeah,
Screw your
I-
chuck in, and where it's making heavy contact, it'll wear it off, and you can see the parts that you've got a problem with. Then take a file and file those parts.
Okay, I'm familiar with Prussian blue. Just hadn't thought of it. Thank you.
That's a
Uh,
good idea. Mhm.
But
Damn
that'll
good
show
idea.
you your high parts and the spots that it's jamming on, and then you can work on those little individual spots with a little file.
Okay. Where would I find Prussian blue? Would they have it at like an auto parts store?
No, it's
Amazon
something
would
that a
have it.
machinist is gonna have. So
Okay,
Amazon.
all right.
Amazon.
Or find a friendly machinist who'll give me an ounce of it, because it won't take much, correct?
An ounce is a hell of a lot.
Okay,
All it does is take a little daub on it to rub
Right.
on there. So
Yeah, just a little
see
bit
if
on
you
a
find a
Q-tip.
machinist friend that may have some Persian blue or something.
okay. Right.
Um,
Great thoughts. Thanks.
or off
It's woven
or
by
Amazon.
itself.
I bought some off of Amazon. So
Okay, good thought. I have
You
found a
might be able
source.
to-
Use it for?
Doug, you might be able to take a black Sharpie and cut it up into little pieces, put it in a little vial and just put a little bit of denatured alcohol in it to
Okay.
pull the ink out of it
All right, yeah,
and do it on the cheap.
will
okay.
will that rub off if you if it on touch points?
If it's
should,
thin
yes.
enough. If
Yeah,
it's
because
thin enough.
that's the purpose of Persian blue. It picks up
Right,
your
right.
hot spots when you're
Yep.
mating parts.
Mhm.
Yeah, I use it when I'm scribing.
Well, that's a different compound.
I see.
Oh, that's what I use it for though.
Well, I do have several friends that are machinists. I bet I can pick up,
But
Enough to do that.
they should have some of that.
right, they should have enough so I can, like you said, borrow a very small
Oh,
amount.
you can borrow their tube and then return the tube.
Yep,
type
okay,
thing.
that's true.
Because you don't need but a little bitty,
A little bit, yeah.
just
Yeah.
a little
Little
bit
goes
goes
a
a
long way.
long ways.
Okay, yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Thanks, Trey.
Doesn't take much at all.
Yeah, I put a,
Solved.
I put a nice straight edge across it to see if it would rock or anything in one spot, or if I had a low spot. I just could not see anything. So we'll try that.
Yeah, it's probably just a couple different. You could have just one, an opposing high spot and an opposing low spot. And when it gets to that point, it's kinking it. So
Yep, okay, yep,
So.
good thought.
hopefully
Thanks,
that'll
folks.
do it for you.
Hopefully, because that gets expensive, putting a new spindle in.
Yeah. Well, the thing of it is, one of them dies probably costs damn near as much as the spindle.
I found them online at Dies and Cutters, a die for about $35.